Yo! Yo! What's up, pimp? Yaxon, Tim, Yad, Smocks, Pancakes? You know I had to get on and talk about the Queen. You know. Digital, Ezra Vale, person with time. Anyone had a job this month? No, probably not this month. Almost certainly next month. Maybe this month. Why do millennials love jars so much? Good question. That's a good question. I think for us, jars are kind of like the pods of our personal vape. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is like the flavor that I inject into the vape that is my body and sort of fill it up. Stolen Uwu, thank you for the I'm from the South. That's cultural appropriation. Is vaping a Southern thing? I think people vape all over. You see the chest cheating drama update? I actually haven't. I was kind of busy today, to be honest. But I caught up on a lot. Honestly, bro, you give me one good night's sleep and 8 hours of grinding, and I fix all my problems. I feel so much better today than I did 24 hours ago. I feel like I just went to bed on time. I woke up, and I just fucking checklisted a bunch of shit, and I feel way better today. Jars are just placeholders for the Funko Pops they don't have yet. We are just the daughters of the Funkos they couldn't pop. You know what I'm saying? Is that deep? Is that wise? Yeah, honestly, what no league does to motherfucker. I did play one league game during my lunch break though. What a line to enter stream to. Are you getting merch restocked? Yeah, people have been asking. We're definitely. I don't know if it'll be this month, but at the latest next month. We're definitely getting merch restocked and possibly even a little something. Slack Arena, thank you for the 2 months. Stink Bug Sniffer, thank you for the 4 months. Night Vision. The British really trying to be like us for real. Speak to that. Speak to that, actually. How does the British having their queen die mean they really trying to be like us for real? I'm trying to... Rip the big Q. They want their own 9/11. They were 3 days early. It would be crazy if it happened on 9/11. If she had waited till 9/11 to try and steal the clout back, that would have been pretty fucked. Me and Liz go way back. RIP to a homie. I'm sorry to hear that. You and Liz go way back. I'm sorry to hear. What how far back? When did you meet her? World War II. She wasn't alive in 1807. She's not 215. Okay. R.I.P. to the OG. Liz is a real one. We met in Nam. She wasn't in Nam. Queen Elizabeth didn't fight in Vietnam. I feel like you guys aren't even historically close to accurate. Zizzy hands. Something there? Look at Jeff Bezos tweeted simping for the Queen. Did Jeff Bezos tweet simping for the Queen? If he just said like my condolences, that's not simping for the Queen, by the way. I want you to know. Wait, what? Oh my God. Okay. So the title of the fucking article when I Googled Jeff Bezos Queen is you know, it's Jeff Bezos slams professor for wishing Queen Elizabeth an excruciating death. But it cuts off. So it looked like Jeff Bezos wishes Queen an excruciating death, which is felt completely, okay. I felt completely out of nowhere. The divorce hit Jeff pretty hard. Yeah, yeah, I guess. Yeah, a bit of a heel turn. Well, I don't know if Jeff Bezos is capable of a heel turn. Jeff Bezos, the world's closest thing to Lex Luthor, is not capable of a heel turn at this point. He's been the heel. What was Lizzie like as a kid? I know you babysat her. Yeah, she was great. She was very easy to take care of. Jeffy Boy tweet. All right, what's Jeff Bezos' tweet? It's crazy how much Jeff has tweeted since leaving his job at Amazon. He used to be a no tweet Andy, and he would only drop like real vanilla shit. And he's been out there. Oh, this is very tame. I can think of no one who better personified duty. Duty. My deepest condolences to all the Brits mourning or passing today. There you go. He's depressed. He's probably met her, I assume. Listen, we'll talk about it in actually we're talking about it right now, I guess. Here's my thoughts here. Okay, here's my thoughts here. Wait, I have to pull up my thing. We gotta play the song. All right. Today we lost Queen Elizabeth. Now, normally, I think the passing of any human being is not a cause for any sort of levity. However, Twitter did not agree with me. At all. Not even a little bit. So we have quite a number of tweets from today that we're going to go through. And at the end of the day, listen, you should be clear here. This is a woman that died of natural causes in a palace at the age of 96 after a lifetime of taxpayer subsidized wealth. I'm not incredibly, you know, it's a little different from a normal, yeah, if you're going to go, that's pretty much how you want to go. I don't think there's any shock here. You know what I'm saying? This is pretty standard as far as deaths go. I know we all want to live to be 150,000 like myself, but I think if you make it to 96, you had a good run. Lizzie down. Yeah, right here. Britain is in shock. Baby, she was 96. Yeah, I just don't see how anyone can be particular. Like, you know, if you are a big supporter of the monarchy in the UK, okay, I'm sorry for you, but I don't think it's shocking. I don't think it's crazy. She's 96. Yeah, anyway. Wait, oh, no, I lost one. Yeah, so anyway, Twitter immediately trending she's dead and rip bozo. Immediately. 96-year-old woman dies and the world in unison is tweeting rip bozo. Can't say I support 100% that line of thought. Imagine making jokes about the queen. Wait, Point Crow, didn't you? Point Crow, what are you saying? Imagine making jokes about the queen. What does your Twitter say? Ding dong, the witch is dead. That's not even. Where's your? Wait, you just had it. Wait, it just said it when I searched you. Ding dong, the witch is dead. You deleted it. You son of a bitch. Oh yeah, no, you're real. Oh yeah, no, really. Yeah, Google exposed. Google exposed. Wow, a little bit of a pullback. Look at the rest of them. I got plenty. Uh, 96. She was a fucking kid. You know what? To someone my age, she really did feel like a little sister. You know what I'm saying? And I find it to be too soon, too young. It just isn't fair. It isn't fair. And to think of her family, it's really not fair, okay? All they get is extraordinary, unearned, lifelong privilege and wealth paid for by the taxes of regular citizens, no matter what they do for all eternity. And like, to have someone in that family taken at 96, it hits you deep, cuts you right to the core. Left with nothing, nothing but their palaces. That reply though, the Queen's death could create. Oh yeah, so this is what I want. This sort of sets up my other tweets. The Queen's death could create one of the worst weeks ever on here, Twitter. British people debasing themselves, 600 tweet colonialism threads, men in hats on horses on TV, a grief bomb followed by a magnitude 8 takequake, resulting in an outbreak of mass amateur historianism. Be careful. Be careful. We're going to see so many insane threads with random black and white photos of the Queen. It's going to be unbearable, and it's already begun. Luckily, day one stuff was mostly funny. Yeah, so the biggest, or at least the most excited online group is Irish Twitter. Irish Twitter is apparently going nuts. And apparently in IRL, so my sister lived in Northern Ireland, and she just texted saying the neighborhood she's in has started lighting fireworks. Literally fireworks. Check Apple? What do you mean, what did check Apple? My heart goes out to all the British people who still don't know because they're waiting to hear it from a guy ringing a bell in the town square. Eddie Burback, a real one. I'm sorry to all my UK frogs out there. What's this one? Nations. Everyone in England is distracted. It's the perfect time to get your stuff back from the British Museum. Hasn't that already been happening? I feel like there's been... I read something about how, like, at least Chinese stuff, like all ancient Chinese stuff that is in, like, Western museums has been slowly but surely getting stolen. There's, like, a fucking mass government-sponsored... or rich Chinese sponsored theft ring, and they are literally breaking into. Yeah, it's stolen back. I mean, stolen back for real when you think about it. But yeah, it's literally like all of these ancient vases and things from ancient China that were basically plundered and taken to Western museums. They're all getting stolen back in the dead of night. Like museums are getting broken into systematically. I thought it was a joke that she died. You thought every single person on Twitter and on Twitch and the internet in general and the news collectively engaged in a mass flash mob to pretend that the Queen was dead when she's 96 and close to death. That's wild that you figured it out. we put so much effort in this joke and you figured it out. That's crazy. It's actually insane. Guys, can you believe this? We practiced for this for weeks. We got everyone in on it, and this guy figured him. I can't believe that. That's wild. Oh yeah. So speaking of Ireland, this is today on. Oh wait, I'm joking about the Queen dying is not okay. Whether you like her or not, she was somebody's wife, mother, sister, cousin. This is a very hard day for that one man. Is it just me or is it like way faster today? Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like today I guess it's because she's been so old for so long. Maybe people were ready. Maybe people were ready. Do you know what I'm saying? People were ready. I feel like the minute it happened, I saw 20 jokes, 20 like well-crafted jokes. People had these in the drafts for years. Yeah, I guess. I guess that's what it is. This is a real tweet. There was a lot of brand tweets. Heinz UK said everyone at Heinz is deeply saddened by the passing of Queen Elizabeth and offer our sincere, which is like, okay, I guess. I'm always a fan of brands not posting around anything related to this. I think it's always cringe. I can't think of a single time a brand is like condolence posted and hasn't felt incredibly dystopian. But then this person, Heinz, this is not real, but they made a fake Heinz Ireland and said nah, which I thought was pretty funny. Oh yeah, this guy. Then there was predictions, dude. This person is straight up September 7th, the Queen will not die tomorrow. That's crazy. With the beginning of the meme where she does. How the hell? That's But then there's another guy even farther back, I think. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. This guy right here. Bro. Look at this. On August 1st, me and the boys are successfully murdering the Queen Elizabeth on 8th of September 2022. He tweeted this on August 1st. To any authority that might be interested in my knowledge, I must make it clear this statement is merely comedic prediction, and I have no connections to any cult, religion, organization, or conspiracy. That's insane, dude. He probably has one for every day. You think so? That would be... No, it's a reply on August 1st. I don't think he does. I don't think he does. I think he binked it. He got a lawyer to write that? Yeah, I mean, he probably, I would, if you wrote that. I mean, you know what's funny is the person who's been most on this wave is fucking Schlatt, who tweeted 12 hours ago, on my way home from the UK, love that place, with, I guess, an airline tweet that he had prepared. Like, he had this photo ready for the day that Queen Elizabeth was in the hospital. This is like so much planning for social engagements around the death of the Queen. And then he tweeted, RIP Queen Elizabeth. I want to read it that had absolutely nothing to do with this. Yeah, it's insane how much he's built this up. No, he killed her. No, I mean, he said he didn't. See? How could you possibly think Schlatt had something to do with it? He reiterated he had nothing to do with it. So, obviously you're wrong. His TikTok too? Wait, what's his TikTok? Schlatt. J. Schlatt TikTok. My statement regarding recent events.
Hello, everybody.
Oh.
I know this looks really, really bad, but I swear to you, you have to believe me that I had nothing to do with this.
1 second, go back.
Hello, everybody. I know this looks really, really bad, but I swear to you, you have to believe me that I had nothing to do with this. Please, do not send any men to my door because I will not be opening it.
I don't think the UK is going to send people to your door in Austin. Very suspicious, though. Hey, Big A, how's your Queen's Death Day doing? I'm not celebrating the Queen's Death Day. I'm just merely journalistically covering Twitter's reaction. Did you see UK got shooters in these streets? Tommy in it? Is Tommy in it going to take down Schlatt? Does the cycle of violence never end? Okay? We're going to have KSI and Tommy in it killing Schlatt. Can we get a crab rave for the queen? No. Did you see that song clip? No, it's not. Is there more? Link me more. Is there? I want to see that song clip. Look at Prezzo. The queen dies the same day football returns. America is back, baby. K Konas, rise up, dude. Prezzo's been going off. I can't. Can I even open Prezzo's account on fucking stream? Who knows what he's been into? Am I gonna see? You guys talk about Dream SMP stands being parasocial. Have you seen British people today? I guess kind of true. You didn't know her. I legit freaked the fuck out when everyone was saying the Queen is dead because I thought they meant Carly Rae Jepsen. Yeah, that would be a true tragedy. Taken too young. Wait, when's we got? The queen after winning in the gulag. She's back. She's back. The return. She did clutch it. She would clutch it. Yeah, so speaking of brand tweets, I found out that... Oh, hey, babe.
Where's the cat's food and water bowl?
I don't know. Let me see. Wait 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Just had to talk to my queen. You know what I'm saying? Make sure she's all right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So Poundland. This is a real thing. Can I have any? Is there any honest to God certified UK frogs in my chat? I must know. Are there any honest to God bruvs? Poundland is real. It's just Dollar General. Everything's £1. Let me see this. What's this? Banger tweet. No, why not clickbait? This is not a banger tweet. This is just the tweet where the royal family tweeted that she died. It's not a banger tweet. No clickbait. This is the original tweet. It's not a banger, dude. It's not like a whoa. Look at the engagements though. They did rack up the likes. The royal family's eating good on the social media front. Wait, where? Get rid of the prediction one. Wait, I wanted to see. Poundland, dude. That's crazy. All of us here at Poundland mourn your loss and honor your life of service. All right, I guess. Anyways, good to know everyone at Poundland is mourning the loss of the queen. Pound Town? I guess, yeah, when it's pound, it makes sense. Why would someone admit that? No, not pound. Yeah, just the whole, it's like if, I don't know. It's weird. It's like Kmart or something tweeting about the JFK. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just weird. It's Brands doing this is always weird. Whether they're called Poundland just makes it funny. Look at what LeBron said. All right, let me see. Well, this can't be LeBron, right? This is obviously not LeBron James. They didn't even use the normal check mark. They used the fucking cloud. This is so stupid. Y'all said this is so stupid. Actually, LeBron. And he tweeted about going to check out hoopsvault.com. Got the cheapest NBA jerseys, shorts, and more. This sounds like LeBron James. Thanks for that tweet. That was great. All right, Jeff Bezos. BBC Radio 1 not seeing the pearly gates for this.
Just by the front door, just throwing chairs, everything.
Buckingham Palace has announced the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
The funniest part of all this to me is that Philip has been in a royal vault, aka a fancy refrigerator, all this time because he can't be buried until the Queen is. Is that true? Philip died a while ago. Philip looked like death 10 years ago. He looked like, oh, is that song clip? Let me see.
Buckingham Palace.
Okay. What's happened to my queen?
She's under medical supervision. She's gonna die, as you know.
She's gonna be fine.
No, she's definitely gonna die, but
She
needs to hold on tight until we're done with paintball so her son can stream it.
yeah, what the fuck?
Son, are you
The image of the Queen clinging to life with her phone on the table next to her of Hassan open, begging, grasping so that she can make sure to die when Hassan can stream and piss in her grave.
really that desperate to go stream the Queen's death right now?
Yes. Are you kidding me? She's a semblance of she's literally a relic of the monarchy. It's like it is extremely my shit to dance on her grave unceremoniously.
Yeah, this is uncomfortable as hell.
This is extremely my shit is a funny thing to say.
Oh my god! She did die! No, she didn't! The royal family's official Twitter account said the Queen died peacefully at Balmoral this afternoon. The King and Queen consort will remain at Balmoral this evening and will return to London tomorrow.
He's like a kid on Christmas.
Woo, let's go!
It's like he's... Oh my god, dude. He's so fucking stoked. That is wild. That's crazy. Asking my girl which hospital she's in because someone told me the Queen was dying. You missed the best part? I fucking hate when Chad does this. This better be fucking amazing. This better be fucking hilarious. It's always like one line and be like, let's go again. He'll say, let's go again. And you guys will be like, oh my God. Oh my God, you had to finish it. Literally, this better be a fucking amazing fucking closing line. Because you always fucking... All right, he said, let's go. That's the last thing we heard.
We'll remain at Balmoral this evening and we'll return to London tomorrow. Woo, let's go.
Okay.
Get fucked, Queen. Buckingham Palace.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the energy we already got. God damn, dude. Classic. Fucking classic. That was, I'm so glad we went back and watched the end of it. Must see tweet. Okay. There's a... Yeah, that's not real. That'd be great. That would be bold. That would be bold. That would be from the Garfield account. I want to see one of the bolder. I want to see like Duolingo have like, like Duolingo have the bird teaching how to say "get fucked" in Irish or something. Like something like that would be fucking crazy. Like that would be wild. That would be actually engagement bait. How come no brands are playing into the "thank God she's dead" vibes? Because that's insane. It's insane. Thank God she's dead. Like what was she doing at 95 that you were so worried about that she's got to be dead at 96? They just trot her out. They just trot her out to different events, and then she smiles. Just existing was bad enough. Okay. All right. 95 was when she really popped off. I guess I missed that part. Check it out. What's this? Watching people mourn a monarch like... Is he turning the IRA? Okay. The Queen's dying. Buckingham Palace. Pedophile family. Bro, I already told you I don't watch Game of Thrones. Well, you're missing out. You're missing out, King. You're missing out, King. Everyone falls off their 95 for real. No, I'm staying strong. What is this? Jordan Noel. What's this? Lamau.
Around the world. But back here at home, we've been waiting a long time.
No way.
But back here at home, we've been waiting a long time for
No way. That's real?
honored all around the world.
That's a great edit if not.
Back here at home, we've been waiting a long time for this. Haven't wait the start of football.
Damn. Dude, that's like 3-0. USA, Britain. Maybe 2-1 if you count War of 1812 as a tie. But Revolutionary, that's a clean win. And this right here is a clean win. Dude, that's a clean win. I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it a 2-1 maybe. Speaking of that, the fact that Queen Elizabeth reigned for roughly a third of American history. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's crazy. Because she's 96. The country's only like, what, 250? How 1776? We're not that. She was alive for like literally a huge chunk of America. She reigned for 70 years. Yeah, I'm talking about her whole life. But yes, 70 years was her reign. Which is wild. I think the first prime minister she met when she became queen was Winston Churchill. Is that correct? That is a fact I heard. That's fucking... That doesn't even seem... That's so impossibly old. What's this? Hassan at it again. She's been queen for 15 prime ministers. Yeah, but they go through them over there. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's a new prime minister all the time. Spectrum? Hello? Did I get effed? Or am I not loading?
We got delivered some incredible news. The Queen is dead. Dead.
This is today? Okay. It's not... Listen, I feel like I'm turning into fucking mogul mail here, but it's... It's just an old lady dying. It's not, you know what I mean, saying... They didn't get rid of the royal family. There's still a royal family in power. There's replace her with a different king. Let us have this moment. All right, you can dance this moment. I'm cool with it. I'm chill. They are definitely going to lose certain power and benefits. Oh yeah, is that? I have no idea about UK politics right now. Are they like? Were they waiting for her to die to be like, all right, we're going to cut back the paycheck? Honestly, bro, with how much electricity is in the UK right now, they should offer to pay their power bill, nothing else. That should be it. The royal family gets their power bill paid at best. And that might even be too much, dude. She saw the decolonization of Africa. Yeah, but wasn't that just because UK was broke as fuck? Like, I don't think she did anything for it. I think the UK just ran out of money after, like, World War II, and then I don't think she, like, had any say in it. No shot. 417, 3 days, 420. Jesus didn't rise on 420, did he? I don't think they have this date. I don't think they even used. Did he? It's canon. I mean, when I say did he, I mean like canonically. I guess sometimes he did. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Okay. Queen Elizabeth really dropped before GTA 6. Let that sink in. Actually, facts, dude. What she should have done is drop before Cyberpunk dropped. So she could always have believed it would have been good. You know what I'm saying? Toss on screen. Wasn't it blurred? I didn't see anything. Can't believe they're going to make a man queen. This woke nonsense has gone too far. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they totally took the monarchy and made it political. Because now they're going to get a king for some reason. Even though for my entire life it's been a queen, they're gonna woke it up again and put a man in there. It's insane, dude. I'm sick of this. Making the monarchy political, dude. It's all I want to do is enjoy a family that I don't know or care about receiving a small bit of my money and everyone else's money to live in opulent wealth for all time. I don't want politics involved. We need a monarchy over here in America, dude. I think that's what the founding fathers fought for. Is like, we need our own monarchy. I think that was what they fought. I didn't pay too much attention, but I think that was like their main founding ideal. The Kardashians. That would be very America of us if we made the Kardashians a monarchy. They don't have to do the show anymore. We'll just forget the show and the paid social posts. We'll just pay for everything. That's what Hamilton wanted. Actually, Hamilton did kind of want a monarchy, didn't he? I believe Hamilton was like way romanticized in the play, and he actually was pretty against a lot of the ideals that Jefferson made standard. Fought for a king, yeah, exactly. Well, speaking of that, I guess they understood that because. Where is it? Both these musicals, this one about America fighting a monarchy for freedom, and this one about revolution against the monarchy, both thought they had to be immediate posters giving condolences to the Queen. They both thought that had to be, there's the first thing they had to get out. You know, I'm not saying you have to be in character and be like, yeah, fuck, she's dead. I understand you don't have to do that. You don't have to be on the Hamilton account going, yes, America's free. You don't have to do that. But what you could do is not tweet because it makes no sense and it's not the point of your fucking play. Yas Queen, sorry. Oh, this is just Jarvis. I'll throw Jarvis one in there. Standing outside Buckingham Palace with my portable speaker, blasting "See You Again" by Wiz Khalifa. Well, I wouldn't play the Khalifa version. You know, there's a lot of good versions out there. I don't know that I would play the Khalifa version.
About it when I see you again. We'll come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see
bars. Should I come back to this song though?
First you both go out your way and the vibe is feeling strong, and what's small turn to a friendship turn to a bond, and that bond will never be broken, the love will never get lost, love will never get lost.
God damn, dude. Real rap died that day. Tell you what, the Queen died today, but rap's never been the same. I killed the game back then, and it's never been topped. It just feels like no one's done anything since. You know what I'm saying? Is that crazy to say? It feels like I dropped that, and then ever since then, no one's dropped anything of value in the rap game. JID and Pusha T. Yeah, so I stutter. They're all right, but come on now. Let's. Well, they move fast. This is a free tweet for anything now. I've noticed this pattern. Anytime any event happens, find a way to shoehorn Spirit Halloween into it, and then post it first, and you'll get 100,000 likes. Anything. It really does not matter what it is. It could be fucking... I don't know. Elon Musk has another secret kid, and then you'll be like, well, they turn his old house to a Spirit Halloween. or I don't know what. It doesn't matter. Or they're going to buy his crib from the Spirit. Just do whatever, and then just fucking put a Spirit Halloween in there, and then everyone will be like, oh my God, I get it. I get it. Spirit Halloween and Spirit Airlines are both low-hanging Twitter fruit. Find a way to mix them. Now we're talking. Find a way to mix them. How can we somehow do a Spirit Airlines, Spirit Halloween, Queen Death tweet? I don't get this one. UK's got to explain this to me. He just said, nah, clutch points, we seen that. And it's the Queen's final farewell. I don't know what clutch points is. Someone catch me up. What is it? It looks funny as fuck, but I don't know. They're all UK athletes? Wait, it's like a UK-based sport website? It's a virus-riddled sport website. They tweeted this, a bunch of UK athletes crying. Damn, they photoshopped that quick. It's US-based. It's a US-based... That's worse. Wait, it's a US-based website trying to farm UK engagement? So they just slapped PNGs of all the British athletes they knew. Well, anyway, it's disputed. Clutch Points is making one case. It's disputed whether or not the Queen is going to heaven. The devil in hell right now.
The Queen is coming.
Yeah, UK, I know we should have apologized for the tea thing, but I'm going to go ahead and apologize for this. Wait. No, we shouldn't have apologized for the tea thing. That's the whole point. The tea thing was cool. You don't have to apologize for this unless you have nothing to do with it. Why would you apologize for a 96-year-old woman dying? Atrioc, I'm sorry. The tea thing was one of the last fucking cool things we did.
Buckingham Palace has announced the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
Is this gonna be fucking poppin' TikTok song? I feel like this sound of the announcement of her death is gonna be remixed 4 million times. Banger Point Crow tweet. I thought he already deleted his tweet. This tweet's insane. What's this? It's just Kobe stunting on a random PNG of a fallen over old woman on a background of heaven. That's crossed up. Yeah. No, that's the queen right there. Yeah, I don't know that it is. I don't know that it is. British people shutting down when the queen dies.
What are they doing? The control ship has been destroyed. Look. They are working.
That's actually a pretty good one. Egg squeeze. What is the Black Adam one? Wait, Black Adam tweeted? There's no way. Banger Irish tweet. Is that real? The timing doesn't add up though, right? The timing doesn't add up, isn't it? Maybe it could have worked. Oh. Like today? Maybe. But you know what? Even if that didn't happen today, that means they have a regular chant about Lizzie's in a box. Is that a regular Irish chant? This was today? Okay. They just come up with whatever. Wow. Good for you, Ireland. The Queen dropped... Oh, here's the Black Adam tweet. Let's see. As the new king of the DC universe, no one feels more pain about losing the Queen than me. But a new monarch will be born from the ashes. This isn't real, but it's very funny. With Black Adam on the throne. Let's all raise a glass of Terramana for the new king, the Man in Black, in theaters October 21st. This is like not far off from what The Rock would like to post. Do you know what I'm saying? He's got enough PR people around him and he knows that he shouldn't tweet this, but untethered, this is what he would post. For sure. For sure. He's got something like this in drafts. Yeah, for sure. 100%. He's got a draft and he's like trying to get his guy to workshop it. He's telling his PR guy, figure it out. Make that work. But that's what I wanted to say. That's the gist. What is this one? Funny ass edit. Oh, wow, Rams. Dude, people are so fast today. It happened so recently and there's so many edits. Oh, The Rock has an actual tweet. Let's see what he said.
Well, it has been one hell of a Thursday so far. Certainly for my family. From the moment we woke up this morning, it's just been one of those days. But I'm just swooping in really quickly to stop in and send my love and my condolences.
This might as well be Rip Bozo. Do you know what I'm saying? The Rock's the only based one around. This is as close as you can get as a celebrity to saying Rip Bozo. Because he started off by saying, just fucking laughing. He's laughing, joking around, talking about a busy day. But giant American flag in the background.
Been one of those days. But I'm just swooping in really quick.
It's been one of those days, you know. But anyway, really quick. Sorry about the Queen or whatever.
To stop in and send my love and my condolences, my light, strength, and mana to the royal family during this time in the spirit of the past.
My mana. Speaking of mana, how about we all raise a nice glass of Terramana? Cheers. 3 cheers for old Lizzie.
I'm so sorry. I know the pain, like we all know the pain. And what a life. What an incredible life. I've never had the privilege or honor of meeting the Queen, but...
So don't post! Why does no one, people are fucking crazy, dude. Then don't post. You don't need to have a take on it. If you don't have something insightful or funny to say, then you don't need to do a 2-minute fucking speech.
What a life. 7 decades, I think, of the longest running monarchy. I think. I'm terrible at math, but I believe it's 7 decades. And what an impact.
They should get The Rock to do the eulogy. They need to have The Rock at her funeral giving this speech. I'm terrible at math, but she's been around. This old broad's been around 6-7 decades. Whoa. Getting my pump on. Huge American flag behind him.
Impactful life. And I got to tell you, ever since, not that this is any consolation in any way, I'm just sharing just a perspective that I have, is that when I lost my old man 2 years ago, right before the pandemic hit us, and my old man he dropped and he passed away, and I never had a chance to say goodbye to him. And I regret that. But the way I look at death these days is that it informs us on how we should live moving forward. Because in their spirit, we have an opportunity to live and live life and live greatly with passion and fervor and positive energy. And
what? This has nothing to do with the timely death of a 96-year-old woman of natural causes in a country we never met. This has nothing to do with it. It's not, what he said is not related at all. That is the type of thing you might say to somebody that you knew in real life. And also, it's the British monarch and you have an American flag and country music blast in the background. This is the most insincere.
And with all we got. So, sending a lot of love and stay strong. And
also, I genuinely, I feel bad he lost his father. That's extremely sad, especially because it seems like it happened untimely. But you, as a person, losing your father who you were close to, and then your multi-millions of Instagram fans, some of whom maybe knew of the Queen, who died of natural causes at 96. How's that relatable?
Now let's live as greatly as we can. And what a life. Stay strong.
Please plug your drink. Please, Dwayne. Please put in a Zoa or a Terramana. I would just love one. Please. And it almost feels like I'm more shaky now. You know what I'm saying? You know what's my solid rock is knowing that no matter what, The Rock will plug his businesses. And him not doing it is throwing me off. It's leaving me asunder in these trying times. And God, what a life. What a life. 70 years. And can you believe she was taken from us just a few days before she could see Black Adam in theaters on November 21st? If only she'd held on just a few weeks longer, she could have seen one of the greatest all-time rules-breaking superheroes. Bro, play it back. You missed the best part. You ended at 155. You didn't get the last part where you...
Stay strong.
Let's see what this is. What is this? What is it? That's okay. Let's see what else. That one was funny. This one was great. Oh yeah, Stans. Stans included me in it unnecessarily. The saddest part of all of this is the Queen will never see Atrioc finish Elden Ring. That's a low blow, Stans. I tried to finish it in time. What's funny is neither will you guys, though. So you guys actually have something in common with Lizzie. Okay? And you might even live longer than her. Now we're finishing it Saturday. We're finishing it Saturday. Ong. For real, for real. No copium, no hopium. Saturday. For real, Pharrell Williams. The Queen when Meghan Markle comes to say her goodbyes. That was good. That one was quick too. That one was quick. And actually, that was quick. That was ready, or I don't know. That's quick. 6:15 a.m. That's crazy. Oh, yeah, this one. This remains an all-time story about the Queen. I have not watched this one.
And normally on these picnic sites, you meet nobody. But there was two hikers coming towards us, and the Queen would always stop and say hello. And it was two Americans on a walking holiday. And it was clear from the moment that we first stopped, they hadn't recognised the Queen, which is fine. And the American gentleman was telling the Queen where he came from, where they were going to next, and where they'd been to in Britain. And I could see it coming, and sure enough, he said to Her Majesty, "And where do you live?" And she said, "Well, I live in London, but I've got a holiday home just the other side of the hills." And he said, "Well, how often have you been coming up here?" "Oh," she said, "I've been coming up here ever since I was a little girl, so over 80 years. And you could see the clogs thinking. He said, "Well, if you've been coming up here for 80 years, you must have met the Queen." And as quick as a flash says, "Well, I haven't, but Dick here meets her regularly." So the guy said to me, "Oh, you've met the Queen, what's she like?" And because I was with her a long time and I knew I could pull a leg, I said, "Oh, she can be very cantankerous at times, but she's got a lovely sense of humour."
British humour.
Anyway, the next thing I knew, this guy comes around, puts his arm around my shoulder, and before I could see what was happening, he gets his camera, gives it to the Queen, and says, "Can you take a picture of the two of us?" Anyway, we swapped places, and I took a picture of them with the Queen, and we never let on, and we waved goodbye. And then Her Majesty said to me, "I'd love to be a fly on the wall when he shows those photographs to the friends in America, and hopefully someone tells him who I am."
It's funny she thinks that it would go like super excited when in fact it looks like the entirety of the internet is celebrating. I don't think she expected these tweets. I'll tell you that. I don't think that. It was a cute little story. At the end of the day, you guys, I'm telling you, she was an old lady. I think, listen, I'm not an expert on what actual decisions she made in her lifetime. I think the institution of the monarchy is fucking awful. But I don't think she was personally out there fucking, I don't know, doing anything. I don't think she had any authority. I thought she just gets trotted out at events for her whole life. She was pulling all the strings. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot she was actually behind all of the scenes that all laddered back up to the Queen. The monarchy hasn't really done anything in a while. That's the thing, is that's why I don't like the monarchy on principle. Not even on action, because it just it shouldn't exist. It's just weird if you're an average UK person and like some portion of your money goes to funding the lifestyle of this random family. It's ridiculous. And they own like a ton of like real estate and insane wealth generating things. And it's just it's odd. What's this? Please watch So Funny. Let's see. We already watched this one. It's not about what she did and what she failed to do. The Queen has absolute power to veto any bill in Parliament. Wait, what? The Queen has the power to veto any bill in Parliament? I don't believe that. No way. No way. Let me confirm. Can the Queen veto any bill in Parliament? Royal assent is the method by which a monarchy approves an act of the legislature. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. In nations such as the UK, which in theory permits the monarch to do that, The monarch never does so, except in a dire political emergency or advice of government. Okay. It hasn't happened since the 18th century, or it says very rare since the 18th century. But I guess they technically have that power. Not anymore, Rip Bozo. Yeah, they should take that away. Canada too? Can she just fuck with Canada too? She's allowed to do it in Australia? So theoretically, she could just go over to Canada and say nah on some random laws. Yeah, so I think if they ever use that power, they'd get shut down. I think right now the system is as follows: they bring in enough tourism, and they're kind of like nationally charming. It's like charm, that as long as they don't do anything of any power, no one cares and they can stay. But even as mascots, they've gotten enough inherited wealth and real estate and land to last generations on generations on generations. So they shouldn't still be receiving subsidies from the government. They're like paid celebrities for the country that you don't get to choose. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. She decides an entire branch of the government in Canada? No way. You guys have to be pulling my leg on some of this, because there's just no way that or it's got to be like, when you say a branch of government, you mean like the branch that rolls out the red carpet when the Queen shows up. That's the Queen visit branch. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's Indians mourning for the Queen is actually really weird. That is a little odd. Anyone from a British colonized country mourning the Queen is a little odd. You don't understand how fucked the system is? I guess I don't. I listen, I truly don't know the full extent of the system, but I am pretty hesitant to ascribe the many morally bankrupt things that Britain did over the years of colonialism and put them on one old lady in the past 70 years who has been mostly a figurehead. I don't think she was the fucking person behind it. She just didn't do anything to stop it. She definitely could have used her for good. She just sort of sat there and smiled and waved. You should watch a video about. Is there a good video on how the monarchy works? I actually want to know. This TikTok's a banger. Let me see.
There is no Easter Bunny, there is no Tooth Fairy, and there is no Queen of England. There is no Easter Bunny, there is no Tooth Fairy, and there is no Queen of England. There is no Easter Bunny.
It is now technically true. It is now technically true. Did you see the Funko Pop tweet? Wait, what? This is legitimate. This is legitimate, the account? Our condolences. What? Wait, this is real. Funko Pop made a Queen Elizabeth Funko Pop in grayscale? That's... Bro, if I died, I would rather have someone scream Rip Bozo than make a fucking Funko Pop memorial. This is more disrespectful. That's crazy. That is... That is a good idea, dude. That's so crazy. I got to cop, though. I'm a millennial. I do have to cop that. Obviously, my Funko Pop collection. I'll put it next to Hermione, dude. Put it right next to my Hermione one. That I have to cop for sure. When I Die, Turn Me to a Funko Pop. That'd be a good rap song. This is a pretty good video. Is it short?
Today's side quest is sponsored by our...
We watched this. When did British kings lose their power? We already watched this. It was very interesting. But I guess I didn't learn enough from it. Good video on the cost of the monarchy. Ooh.
Hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the British monarchy and why I think it should be abolished. That's right, I want to fire the Queen.
Well.
And him, and him, and
Don't need
all
to
the
fire her
little
now.
children royals as well. They're all fired. Pack up your things so long your services are no longer required, sort of thing. So I guess I should make my case for that opinion, and it's a rather simple one, to be honest. I don't like hereditary hierarchies.
Yeah.
I don't think it's right
Yeah,
that
yeah,
someone
yeah.
should be born into a position of power
Yeah.
over other people.
Yeah.
Now, you might say,
100%
well,
agree.
the royals don't actually have any real political power anymore,
No.
and this is kind of true to an extent, but they still inherit at birth a position of enormous privilege and wealth.
Yeah, it's
and
the
this
wealth.
is in a country where the Conservatives' austerity politics have led to continue.
I mean, especially because right now, it's never been more out of touch to have a royal family paid for by the government, because by God, the UK is going to be, and Europe in general, is going to be in for some tough years ahead right now. Especially this winter is going to be, electricity prices are going to be through the roof. And every single person is like fucking, I don't know. This just feels very, 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 very out of touch right now.
Huge increases in food banking.
Like, yeah, they're going to have like a coronation, right? For whoever takes her spot. And they spend millions on that. It all feels way, way out of touch.
Welfare have led to an increase in the number of children living in poverty, and so on. And it is completely indefensible to me that one child could be born into a manufactured poverty while another could be born into the wealthy royal family. Now, one of the ways the royals do still have some political power is via the Queen's speech.
Oh, by the way, just a little inside story on these guys. This is I don't remember his name, but this is Meghan Markle and the other guy, right? The ones that went to America. Am I correct? No. Okay, never mind. Fuck, I don't know shit about him. This is Kate Middleton. Never mind. Okay, because I wanted to say something about Meghan Markle. Apparently, so they went to America. Wait, let me show it. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Oh yeah, they don't look anything alike. Bro, it's the UK people. It's all the same. You know what I'm saying? They went to America and left the royal family and got a massive deal from Spotify, like an unheard of pre-idea deal. Like they got hundreds of millions of dollars, sight unseen, to make different podcasts and show ideas for like Netflix and Spotify. And they have produced like 1/10 of what they were required to do. Oh, they went to Canada. I'm sorry. They've produced like 1/10 of what they're required to do, and the first thing they did was like a flop. Actually, the podcast was all right. I think it did all right, but they have Spotify is freaking out a lot. The understanding I got is that Spotify is freaking out because they paid them a ton of money and they have not produced anything to make that money back.
Now, one of the ways the royals do still have some political power is via the Queen's speeches, such as the state opening of Parliament, in which she reads a statement outlining government policy.
My ministers will continue.
Yeah, the royal family, kind of like Frosty, actually. There's actually someone in chat said that. The royal family is like the mob to 100 Thieves, dude. They are given too much, and they're not working for it. They're not doing anything to earn it back. Oh, shit. I'm fucking... Got Jeff Bezos' bald ass popping up. There it is.
To bring the public finances under control so that Britain lives within its means, and to move to a higher wage and lower welfare economy where work is rewarded.
That's a clip from the state opening of Parliament 2016.
This is a lot of
where
gold.
the Queen read out a pro-austerity speech while sitting on a golden throne and wearing a hat with 2,900 precious gems.
just good marketing. That's just good marketing. If you're going to tell people they need to cut back and be a little more austere, you should be fucking iced
including
out.
one of the largest diamonds in the world. Now, nobody wearing this hat should be able to say Britain should have to live within its means without getting sucked into an irony black hole. The royals are wealthy and privileged, not because of anything they've done to earn it, but because they were born into it at the expense of others, and this is wrong. Now, okay, if you're a regular viewer of my channel, I'm probably preaching to the choir here. You're probably on board with me being outraged about the country having to bear the enormous cost of this one particular family who did nothing whatsoever to earn it. Well, this video is not really aimed at you, I'm sorry to say. This video is aimed at people who, when I mentioned the enormous cost of the royal family, scrolled down to the comment box and started typing, actually, I think you'll find the royals bring in more money than they cost us.
Yeah, I want to hear
a benefit to the economy, it turns out. Haven't you seen that CGP Grey video? The true cost of the royal family.
I have seen this. And so my general take was that while it shouldn't exist, I assumed they brought in money. And it made sense in my mind because people do seem to care about royal stuff. People, like, even in America, if there's a royal wedding or anything, we always want to watch it and we always want to talk about it. So I assumed that it was a tourism benefit. That was my assumption. That being said, like, I already knew they didn't need any additional wealth to hold on to generational wealth. They have enough. Plenty.
Explained. It's really interesting. You should check it out. So, this video. This is what I want to talk about today. Now, before we get into it, I just want to state that I'm not attacking old CGP Grey here. Often on my YouTube channel, I talk about Nazis and alt-righters and fascists and racists, and I just want to make a note here to say CGP Grey is, to the best of my knowledge anyway, not that. I have in the past enjoyed several of his videos, and I've often shared his video on gerrymandering in particular, which is a really useful, easy to follow visual explanation.
The only thing I remember from CGP Grey that we watched on stream was that video where he said we should move Saturday to Wednesday, which was the dumbest fucking video I've ever seen. I cannot remember another video that we watched on here. I remember thinking that video was so goddamn stupid.
And I'd actually encourage you all to give it a look, so I'll link it below. So why am I responding to this video today?
Oh, the pirate one was good.
The answer is that it's
I
got
like the pirate one, actually.
4.5 million views. It's the top hit on YouTube if you search for royal family cost, and it's spreading a bunch of easily disprovable lies and oversimplifications. The true reason, though, is that back in my pre-YouTube days, when I was reduced to arguing unseen on dying internet debate forums, any mention of the cost of the monarchy would inevitably see someone post this video, and then we'd all have to argue about whether it was right or wrong all over again. These days, though, I have a YouTube channel and a platform, and I'm going to use it self-servingly to get the last word in and retroactively win all of those arguments. I'm in mad scientist mode here.
That's what I want to do.
Disclosure. They'll see. They'll all see. And all that.
Back to the present day, let's compare the profits and losses by using a tenner to represent £10 million. The cost to maintain the royal family today is £40 million per year, but the revenue paid to the UK from the royal lands is £200 million per year. 200 million in revenue, subtract 40 million in salary costs equals 160 million pounds in profit. That's right, the United Kingdom earns 160 million pounds in profit every year from the...
Okay. I listen, he's probably going to say this, but the royal lands are also part of what's paid out to them. They didn't, you know what I'm saying? They gave them wealth and land. And so whatever's earned on it is not really them, like...
the royal family.
So then, first off here, I'd like to admit a bit of bias. Even if these numbers were remotely true, I'd still support abolishing the monarchy, such is my disdain for hereditary positions of power. Luckily for me, though, they're not remotely true. There are massive problems on both sides of this equation. Let's start with the, quote, salary cost of the royal family, which CGP Grey puts at £40 million. And I should note here that this video came out in 2011, prior to the Sovereign Grant Act, which reformed the way the monarchy is paid by the government. These days, they're paid a percentage of the revenues from the Crown Estate. The Sovereign Grant for the last year
76
was
million?
76.1 million. So they've had quite the increase in the last few years. But since CGP Grey uses the 40 million figure...
This is much higher than I thought, to be honest. I thought it was stupid. But when I thought it was like a decently large nominal sum of like a few million. I thought it was a few million of like expenses, and then everything else came out of their already established wealth.
Let's talk about that.
I didn't know it was
now,
near
the problem is,
$100 million.
This salary cost is only a fraction of the actual cost of the monarchy. CGP Grey fails to include lots of other costs that are separate to any money that is paid directly to the Queen, such as security costs. If the royals travel somewhere, they do so with a security detail, and this is paid for by the state. The security costs for big events like Prince Harry's wedding to Meghan Markle earlier this year run into the millions, and that's all paid for by the taxpayer. The travel costs themselves are also...
Wait, so the 76 million is just a salary? I thought that was the total of I thought that was like all security, all travel, all... They just get a fucking salary of $76 million a year? Just for being just for...
If the royals
That's crazy. That doesn't make any sense.
A ribbon or whatever, the costs for the trip fall on the local government of wherever they went. The refurbishment of royal properties is not mentioned. Buckingham Palace's ongoing renovation is estimated to cost £369 million and is the justification given for the recent large increase in the sovereign grant. So since their house needs fixing, we gave them a raise to pay for it, i.e. we're paying for it. And after all that, this 40 million figure here seems fairly ridiculous. Most estimates I've seen for the true cost of the monarchy are in the low hundreds of millions annually. And I'm being intentionally fuzzy with the figure here because when it comes to this sum, none of what I just said actually matters. Because the real problem here isn't the 40 million in costs, it's the 200 million in, quote, revenue from Crown land. Because here's the thing, if tomorrow all the royals just evaporated or fell off the earth or something, that land would still exist. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah,
it doesn't need the royals.
Yeah, they
around
gave
to
the
be
land. I mean, the
present in
land is
our
like part of your
dimension.
salary.
You know, it's not tied.
If you're
to
born into a royal family that is just arbitrarily given a bunch of things by the government, the land is part of that. That's the same as getting cash.
A spirit or something. Without a monarch on the throne, all the trees would wither and die or something. No, the land and our ability to do profitable things with it would still be there without the monarchy. A more accurate sum here is £40 million against nothing. You know, why not kick the royals out and keep 100% of the revenue, you might ask.
But perhaps that's not enough for you because you're a real greedy geezer. Why not kick the royals out and keep 100% of the revenue? Because it's still their land. King George the Crazy wasn't crazy enough to give up everything, just the profits. But it wasn't only him. Every monarch since King George III has voluntarily turned over the profits from their land to the United Kingdom. If the government stopped paying the royal family's living and state expenses, the royals would be forced to take back the profits from their land, and your taxes, dear monarchy haters, would go up, not down.
So there's a lot going on in this clip. First off, I'd like to note the backing away from the initial question, which was why not kick the royals out, to the much softer scenario of the government simply stopping paying for their expenses, after which the royals would apparently be forced to stop turning over the revenue from the Crown Estate. My first issue with this is that CGP Grey's version of kicking the royals out appears to arbitrarily leave them with...
It's such a unique... It's not like, you know, like Buckingham Palace doesn't really belong to them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just because it's like that is a British government building. It was built with government funds. Like, it's their house, but like, It's not like if they stop this payment thing, they should just be able to take Buckingham Palace and go. It's
all their land
it's paid
and wealth,
for and
and
built
also
by
the
the government. It's
apparent
government
ability
funded.
to negotiate from a position of power with the British government. And I have to ask why he's imposing these measures. You see, although CGP
it's more like the
Grey
White House.
says it's still their land, the Crown Estate is not actually the monarch's private property. They cannot do with it as they wish. If they were to be able to, quote, take back the revenue from the property overseen by the Crown Estate, this would involve renegotiating the arrangement with the government and coming away with private ownership of everything, which is ludicrous. Although, to be fair, given how the Brexit negotiations are going, maybe it's not. You see, my version of kicking the royals out involves confiscating all their stuff, because it's not really their stuff at the end of the day. They inherited it from someone, who inherited it from someone, etc., who claimed ownership of it by killing everyone who disagreed with them. It wouldn't exactly be kicking the royals out if we left them with sole ownership of huge parts of the country, would it? CGP Grey is basically saying after we abolish the monarchy will then respond by saying etc. And no, after we've abolished the monarchy, they've been abolished. They don't get a turn. This is a particular sort of bad faith argument that I've seen a few times. Let me give you another example. Do you support an increase in green renewable energy? And I imagine most of you would say yes, unless you happen to be oil barons or something. Now what I'm going to do is fixate on that one opinion of yours and extrapolate from that way more than is logical or necessary.
Cool.
So you support an increase in green energy, which means you support a decrease of the use of fossil fuels, which means you support the current employees of the fossil fuel industry being made unemployed. And how cruel of you, just before Christmas and everything, you classist monster. And before you can protest that you also support, I don't know, job guarantees for fossil fuel workers or various welfare systems or a universal basic income or something like that, I've already run away with my fingers in my ears saying, la la la, I can't hear you,
Fuck,
you classist
he owned.
monster.
Got
Now,
owned.
I'm speaking from experience here because I've had this happen to me. Reality isn't turn-based, however. We can support and do multiple things at the same time. So in
Reality isn't turn-based is a pretty fire line.
this case, my bill to abolish the monarchy would say, we're no longer paying for the royal family's expenses, and also the Crown Estate will henceforth be publicly owned, and also the royals will lose all hereditary positions and powers, and also, if you don't like that, you can go and sit on your crown, which is now ours. So anyway, that's the land argument dealt with there. Now, the other common response to the argument that the royals cost the country is the tourism argument. Tourists come here just to see the Queen, apparently.
Plus, 160 million is just the easily
I think that is
measurable
true,
money
though.
the United Kingdom
I legitimately believe people do that. People go to Buckingham Palace and the guards are there and they take pictures and
makes from the royal family. Don't forget their huge indirect golden goose, tourists. Annoying though they might be to the locals by blocking the tube and refusing to stand on the right, they dump buckets of money on the UK to see the sights, travel ludicrously short distances by public transport, and generally act silly along with.
But you know what? I do kind of agree. Like, there could be a queen the way that Disneyland has a Goofy. You know what I'm saying? You could put any old lady up there for $15 an hour and smile and wave. I don't need it to be a fucking $80 million a year. You know, hereditary for life, political power kind of thing.
Away from home. Sure, not everything they come to see is royal, but the most expensive stuff is. And who are the biggest spenders? The Yanks. After they finish buying maple syrup and cheap pharmaceuticals, Tijuana professional services, and illegal pharmaceuticals, where do they go next? The United Kingdom. Americans fly across an ocean to see a land filled with castles that aren't plastic. And why do the Americans think France's castles are so boring and stinky and the UK's castles are so awesome? Because real monarchs still use them. The Tower of London is so stunning to visitors because the royal crest on the yeoman warder's uniform
not
is
a
real.
UK castle?
It's not a lame historical reenactment or a modern lodgers, but so awesome.
Isn't that Mont Saint Michel? Am I fucking crazy? I feel like I've been to this castle and it wasn't in the UK at all. This is a French castle. I've been to this castle in real life. What a fucked video. You couldn't even... This is not even a real fucking UK castle,
Because
dude.
real monarchs still use them. The Tower of London is so stunning to visitors because the royal crest on the yeoman warder's uniform is real. It's not a lame historical reenactment or a modern LARPing quest. It's the embodiment of the living, breathing queen. Everywhere you look, she sprinkled fairy dust on banal objects to make them magically attractive to tourists, 12 million of whom visit every year, spending £7,000 million, which suddenly makes those direct profits look like rather small change.
So there's a lot to talk about right here. Where to start?
You're not living and breathing
so
now.
The comparison
Still
with France is particularly audacious and cheeky here, because as you might know, France makes a lot more money off tourism than the UK. In 2017, France was the #1 tourist destination in the world, whereas the United Kingdom was 7th with less than half of the number of individual tourists. The Palace of Versailles gets vastly more visitors each year than Buckingham Palace. According to a CNN travel report, in 2013, Versailles had over 7 million visitors, and Buckingham Palace had less than 1 million. So living monarchs don't seem to be that big of a tour.
I actually think my idea would work then. I actually legitimately think if they paid a bunch of people to be queens. And so every time you went, you got to meet the queen. You know what I'm saying? There was like a line, but there was always a queen there. And she was always like walking around and like Disney. Yeah. That would be awesome. That would be way better than never getting to see him and only hearing about it. Like Mall Queen. Yeah.
Tourist attraction. So how does CGP Grey get
And then
away
add some
with
rides,
this France
too.
comparison? Well, he needlessly limits himself to talking about just one group of people that happen to visit the UK more than France, and that's Americans. And there is absolutely no reason to do this except to give the false impression that the UK attracts more visitors than France, when if you consider all tourists, it's not even close. Also, as a
I think the UK attracts more American tourists because we like that we can still speak English. I think most Americans are afraid of the language barrier. That's it. If I had to guess, it's not about whether or not one has better castles.
little aside here, when CGP Grey says, why do Americans think France's castles are so boring and stinky and the UK's castles are so awesome, he shows pictures of two castles. Now, the boring and stinky castle is the fortress of Najac in France, and the awesome castle is Mont Saint-Michel in no prizes for guessing this one, France. They're both French castles. Well, actually, this one isn't a castle, but
I have a photo. I think you see my Facebook profile photo of me like on this road in front of this castle. That's why I remember. And I was like, I never went to a fucking castle in the UK. All the thing I did when I went to the UK, because the UK was so fucking expensive. When I went to London, when I was very broke, I walked around London, realized I couldn't do anything. Like, everything cost too much money. And then I tried to take Ari on the London Eye. And it was like fucking $45 or something per ticket. So we couldn't do it. So I had to tell her we couldn't go. And then we fucking went and got like some equivalent of fucking Pizza Hut, dude. We got like British version of Pizza Hut. And it was awful. It was awful. We went to fucking Rome and had a fantastic time. We went to London and did nothing. I couldn't afford shit. Did legitimately nothing.
In France. What CGP Grey has done is mix up this place with this place, St. Michael's Mount, which has a similar name and appearance but is actually in the UK. Now, given that CGP Grey, an American, can't tell the difference between a French castle and an English one.
No, it wasn't
that
pizza.
kind
It was like bro, I don't know. It was I know Britain has Pizza Hut. God, I wish I remember the name of it. Fuck. I don't know. It was just some pizza place.
This proves his point there. Hardy ha. An error was made on the internet. Regardless,
Maybe Pizza
tourists
Express?
don't get a cup of tea and a chat with the Queen or anything when they go to see a royal property. Whether the royals are around or
I
not.
felt the same in SF. Everything was too expensive. Yeah, SF for tourism, so shit, dude. As a person who lived in SF for many years, I can't imagine how disappointed you would be. It's a small fucking city. There's only one part of it that's a little touristy, the wharf. And SF is San Francisco. And what? I mean, what? I don't know what you fuck. I guess it's you know, it's got cool streets and there's street cars. If you don't count the, I had a lot of fun visiting. All right, take it back. I had friends visit and they really didn't like it. I had things I liked about the city when I was there, but it was by far the most expensive place in the country, and so definitely happy to move out. Probably didn't know. The only thing that was good was walking to baseball games from work. That was cool.
Doesn't matter. The buildings are still going to be there. And again, as we've seen, more people go to see France's palaces, and they got all choppy with their monarchs. And that's the thing, even if the actual monarchy was officially abolished, the people, the family would still exist.
You can do that in Boston, baby? I'll never go to Boston. I went to Boston for PAX East one time, and after the after party, I walked outside, and nobody could get a fucking Uber, and it was frigid fucking cold, and it was gray, and it was miserable. Everyone just sat there fucking miserable. And it was so goddamn cold. And so I had a miserable experience. And also, I've been to all the PAXs, and PAX East was the worst. So that's my fucking take on Boston. Too cold. Boston is nice in the summer, and that's it. All right, well.
Still live in
they don't
the
hold
country.
PAX East in the summer.
If they're meant to be a draw by themselves, there'd be nothing stopping them from being, I'm sure they'd still be invited to events and to
Boo-hoo, I'm cold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes! I'm cold! Who wants to be fucking miserably cold for no reason? The Red Sox are awesome. Put on a jacket. Did you I wore a jacket. Bro, you can walk around at night around here, okay? It's fucking warm. Warm nights. Why am I going to go to Boston? It's be frigid cold. We have best sports. Bro, I think Boston legitimately clings to their sports too much. If Boston sports teams all have a bad year, everyone's gonna fucking jump off a bridge, dude. That's it's all they have.
Whatever else, the difference is that they'd have to pay their own way, and I don't even imagine that would be particularly difficult for them.
They have
They'd
Marky
still
Mark.
be a celebrity family regardless of official status, and I imagine there'd be a lot of monarchists around who'd be willing to send them their money. Maybe they could do a GoFundMe or something.
We have the Patriots,
to sum
though.
up here, without the monarchy, the land would still exist, the royal estates would still exist, and the people who are currently the royals would still exist. All that would change is that our government would
have
stop
Germa's mom.
funneling millions of pounds into the pockets of one particular, already rich family. Now, what else haven't I mentioned here? Well, very quickly, CGP Grey gives the impression that the royals turn over the income from all of their lands, but this isn't actually true. The duchies of Lancaster and Cornwall are administered separately from the Crown Estate, and the royals don't have to turn over the revenue from those, and they're not subject to tax. The royals voluntarily, how nice of them, pay income tax on the income generated by the duchies, less official expenditures.
What do you mean
of course.
voluntarily?
However, they remain exempt from corporation tax. The duchies have been valued together at more than £1 billion, and this is, of course, not mentioned by CGP Grey. That's about it from me today, folks. That's a short one, isn't it, from me? I usually make longer videos than this, but to be honest, I just needed to get this one out.
It was interesting. I mean, yeah, that's generally my take going in, is that it just doesn't make sense for their whole life to be excessively taxpayer funded. At best, you could do it like a business deal and just figure out, just legitimately. First of all, the government should have ownership of Buckingham Palace and like some of this. It doesn't belong to fucking. It's a government building. And then they should just get a cut of tourism money or something. It should be like a fucking celebrity. They should just be a celebrity family, and they should have to make money the way celebrities do by doing appearances. By doing appearances, doing content, Signing a deal for a cut of revenues of tourism, like that is what they should do, and not just have a guaranteed no matter what they do fucking crazy. Yeah, reality show. A reality show. Yes, they should have to do a fucking reality show if they want to keep that level of wealth. There should be a fucking King of Queens, King of Queens UK edition. They should, yeah, the fucking. We should have had 95-year-old Lizzie doing TikTok dances and talking about weight loss pills on TikTok to make. They should be making money the old-fashioned way. They got to put in work. The royal family are actually lizards, and she's not dead. She just shed her human skin. She's taking on her next form. Most sane chatter. Turn Buckingham Palace into the largest influencer house. The UK's hype house, dude. This palace never stops spitting out content. Frosty. Frosty with a fucking laptop and Uber Eats in the corner of Buckingham Palace, complaining about the internet. Soon you will tell me that all inherited huge wealth is bad. That's something I already believe. It's I think one of the worst. Yeah, I hate. I'm in favor of a massive estate tax. I don't think Jeff Bezos's great grandson should lord over people because of something his great grandfather did. I'm not a fan of dynasties, and I'm not a fan of. The problem is there's a million ways to get around it. Yeah, well, then you have to find ways to close loopholes. Of course. Maybe by better funding the IRS, but people don't want to. Walton children are paid out just as much. Yeah, the Walton children are the biggest example. Bro, there's like 38 Walton children on the fucking billionaires list. Or, yeah, I mean, they're all on the rich list. They're all fucking... And they haven't done anything, dude. They haven't done anything for decades and decades and decades. I think all inheritances should go to Jeff Bezos. Well, that would be interesting. So anytime anybody dies, their money is immediately liquefied and sent to Jeff. Do you believe your morals are strong enough to where if you became a billionaire, you'd feel the same way? I think we should not rely on the better angels, the see the light moralism of billionaires, whether it is me or not. Do you understand? Like, the whole point is that we should create laws that are beneficial to mass, in mass, and then enforce them so that we aren't relying on billionaires to be good people. We shouldn't, whether they donate it to charity, they just shouldn't be able to have infinite. Avoiding the question, yes, sure, I would fucking try to keep my money. The point is, like, as a group, billionaires are going to try to do that. Anyone who gets that much money is going to try to keep it. And we should just have a system where they can't, where it's not their choice. Relying on morality of fucking billionaire CEOs is crazy. It's like that's our strategy, is to shame them into giving up their money. Yeah, it's kind of like gambling on Twitch, you know? It's like you can, I don't, if they're offering gazillions of dollars to streamers, someone's gonna take it, right? And at the end of the day, it's up to the platform needs to set a rule. Just if Twitch made a rule and enforced it, that would stop it. But until then, it's just like us trying to be like, don't do it, and then someone does it. Someone's eventually gonna do it. Like, we haven't stopped the problem. No one should have more money than Mr. Beast. He's cool. He actually, I mean, he's worth a lot, but I don't know how much cash he has because he runs pretty lean, apparently. All of his money goes back towards videos. But that means equally the strange billionaire hate is not tenable. It's not about people, but about institutions. Yeah, I agree with that. I read Jeff Bezos' book. I think he's a smart guy. I think he's a little bit insane, but I think he's good at business. He knows what he's doing. I still don't believe that we shouldn't be relying on him to be a good guy. He should be allowed to be good at business, and then we should just have rules that cap the amount that he can extract from it, and especially what he can pass on. I guess my counterpoint would be that the creator of the wealth deserves most of the wealth, not the government. I agree that billionaires are corrupt and cringe, but so is the government. What's the alternative? You got to find a balance. IMO. Well, we're talking about the estate tax, so it's not the creator of the wealth. It's the grandson or the son or the daughter of the creator of the wealth, right? They didn't earn it. And yeah, creator is a interesting way to say it because, right, it's not one person's not creating the wealth of the company. Musk's children deserve it, TBH. To put up with Musk? I guess they do. You know what? Musk's children apparently they should get they should get taxpayer money actually. We should all pitch in and we should give every one of Musk's children a little bonus because they've had to deal with him. And just to be clear, like most billion plus level wealth is not from some great innovation or you know, it's from getting some sort of monopoly on something and then rent seeking the hell out of it. That's where most of it comes from. Like it comes from finding some way, either through a natural or a government assisted way, to get a monopoly on some good or service and then just fucking exploiting the hell out of that. So you can't have competition. Isn't part of the incentive to create wealth knowing that you can give it to your descendants? Too bad. I guess watch what happens if you did. We've had higher estate tax. You understand? Like the period of greatest, like the 30 years of greatest economic progress and growth, like the 45 to 75, we had way higher taxes on the rich. We had a way higher and more focused estate tax. People innovated. People still created companies. The best predictor of innovation is going to be competition being allowed. That's it. People will still do it. There's no one like, oh, I'm not going to fucking try to get rich because then I can't give it to my great grandson so they can be a fucking lord. And by the way, even if you had a fucking 85% estate tax on someone like Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos' wealth, they're set for lifetimes. What about Princess Peach's kids? It went as high as 92% in the highest bracket of income. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's not, and it's not like it's just good. It's just good business. It creates more innovation. The more you sort of refresh the fountain, you know, the more people can actually have a chance to capture some of that by creating something new. And there's loopholes in estate taxes. Why is that everyone's argument? It always baffles me. Anytime you talk about like, hey, the current system's pretty bad, let's see if we can fix it. Someone says, well, there's loopholes. Okay, yeah. So you have to. So okay. So we have to figure out how to solve that. We have to close the loopholes. We have to fight. What does that mean? Give up? I mean, you can't do anything about it? Oh, there's loopholes? I guess don't even bother then. It's like saying schools are terrible. They're trying to fix them. Fear of innovation, the future of mankind was directly involved. Wait, what? A fear of innovation in the future of mankind was directly tied to an increase in influence of people who were interested in making sure that less discoveries were happening so they could keep it well. I'm not sure exactly what you're saying there. The loopholes argument is valid because on a practical level, we accept that we probably can't close them all. Have to work on them existing. But I mean, it's been done, right? It has been done. We've had higher estate taxes that generated more revenue, and then they were politically pressured into lowering. Like rich people spend a bunch of money to get those taxes lowered. Why would they do that if they could just get out of them? They do have an effect. We should just have actual human beings worth. If I only get 40% of other countries. They do have an effect when I guess there's lots of alternative solutions. Bro, you got married? I got married a month ago. Closed loopholes and new ones open up, regardless of how exploitive the originals may be. The processors will only find a way to get around it. That's an insane take. It's insane. Yeah, you can. Literally, it's been done. They have paid higher taxes. They're always going to try, but that's such a insane attitude. It's like that line of logic implies that no law can do anything. There's no way to stop it. I can't. I don't even understand that. There is literally no way to make any sort of progress on anything because anything you're trying to stop, people will find a way around it. Like, there's no point in banning cheaters in a video game. There's always be cheaters. Yes, there's an endless struggle between people that want to cheat and people that want to stop cheating. But you have to have this. You have to make an attempt. You've got to make the progress. You got to make it more difficult. It has to be a battle, and then the more you fund it and the more you get involved with it, the better progress you make. But it has an effect. 100%. Everyone should just be buried with their money like the pharaohs. That would actually work. Prevents it from being a dynastic wealth. We need more pyramids. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's deflationary. The gravedigger economy. I feel like wanting to pass something down to your kids is the American dream, so I try to the pros and cons. I don't encourage innovation to generate wealth. I don't listen. What wealth class are you in where you think you won't be able to pass something on to your kids, even with a high like marginal estate tax? If you're a billionaire, your kids are getting something, even in this fucking fantasy realm where we actually pass something. It's passing down, untold billions. That's the problem. Americans are just too fucking cucked by capitalism. What I'm talking about is not even anti-capitalist. I'm not even talking about fucking breach the walls with AK-47s. I'm talking about fucking things we've had in America under capitalism. I am talking about like common sense rules to encourage competition in a market economy. And people are acting like I'm talking about something impossible that will fucking absolutely ruin the great thing we've got going now. It's literally what I'm talking about is things that have happened already. The 4 big things. Number 1, remove money from politics. Repeal Citizens United. Corporations cannot donate legal bribery. Remove that. Number 2, simple, layman understandable tax system. Basically remove the entire tax prep, tax avoidance, tax lawyer economy. Like that whole business should not exist. They're going to lose jobs. Unfortunate. I'm sorry. We got to deal with it. TurboTax should not exist. Literally get rid of that. Taxes should be easily understandable to the layman. We should have drastically fewer loopholes. Not even loopholes. Deductions. Like we should just be. It should be it can be lower. It can be lower, but it should be flat and easy to understand. So that like there is not a massive wealth advantage to having resources to get tax prep, tax avoidance, tax lawyers. Then number 3 would be a hefty estate tax with a well-funded IRS designed to enforce it, especially for the wealthiest, to prevent dynastic wealth from emerging. Those 3 things alone, did I have a 4th? Those 3 things alone would drastically change the economy. Drastically. It would incur innovation. And then 4th is bring back antitrust. Like actually enforce antitrust every now and then. Don't let monopolies get out of control. And then 5, bring back Bionicle. Yeah, exactly. And the original Teen Titans show. Yeah, exactly. I don't mind paying more taxes in principle, but I don't trust the government not doing anything but line their pockets. Well, I don't know where you're at, but I'm not talking about more taxes for the average person, obviously. If anything, I'm talking about overall lower standard, easier to understand taxes. But no way to like when they're set, they're set. So everyone's paying the same rate. How would you feel about no income tax but a larger VAT tax? VAT's pretty bad on the average person. VAT tax is value added on like goods and services, but that's like average people do more consuming than rich people who have stocks and wealth and so it wouldn't hit them at all. VAT is like only good to hit regular working people. UBI? I am generally in favor of UBI. In fact, so we have a lot of, especially in America, we have a lot of things where it's like the government will give money to try and spur certain things, but it'll always do it through tax deductions, which is very complicated. Like if it wants to help people buy their first house, it'll do an income tax credit on your first mortgage or whatever. It has like all these things. All this shit is like complicated, ineffective, has a delay on it. It's like it only kind of works for what the intended goal is. And like the best thing you can do in almost all situations is just directly give money to the cause that needs help. And so universal basic income would probably go a lot longer way than like bigger tax deductions and things like that we do for I don't trust the government not to screw me over through tax reform so the rich donors can feel safe. Yeah, I wouldn't trust them right now either. 100%. 100%. The problem with right now is if taxes get raised on the wealthy without anything done about loopholes or enforcement, then it really just hits like the not super well. It's the wealthy that aren't super wealthy. They don't have like extreme teams of tax lawyers. You're forgetting the part where I become a billionaire, and as a future billionaire, your plan doesn't sound super pog. Sorry to any future billionaires in chat, but I think this plan would actually help everyone. But yeah, step number 1 of my plan was money out of politics. I think that's none of the rest of it works, right? Because if right now the people with the money can use the money to buy votes or buy, political influence. If that exists, then any taxes we make will always have exploitable loopholes that it can be paid for. So you have to get rid of step 1, legalize bribery. The point with higher estate tax is the very rich don't pass their massive wealth down generations. Yeah. Most people don't have the wealth where they should be worried their children's not going to get jack shit. Yeah, exactly. A regular person passing things down to their kids is not something that they should be worried about. It's about people passing ownership of, untold billions down generations so that the kids of kids of kids of kids of kids are living like kings off of nothing. They didn't do anything. The only good part, like the only thing that makes capitalism work is that it's kind of been proven that competition in a free market economy does spur innovation. Like it has worked. That part works. But the competition part is the key. And competition always gets co-opted. Free market. I thought you said free market NFTs. That'd be sick. Money in politics is the hardest time to get over to install this. And he said, well, first of all, when we have a fucking rule about it, Citizens United made it basically legal. Actually, it made it legal for corporations to use their money as a voice to donate to political committees. So before, if you wanted to legitimately just directly give cash as a corporation to a politician, you'd have to bribe them. You'd have to man up and break the law. You'd have to expose yourself to the chance of getting caught, as small as that might be, and going to jail. But after Citizens United, now they can legally bribe. That's number 1. It's gotta be repealed. That is the biggest problem in America. Full stop, bar none. Nothing else comes close. Literally nothing can be solved productively while that exists, because it allows dollars to be worth more than votes. Term limits got to be number 1 or 2. I mean, yeah, term limits would be nice. Age limits would be nice. But gerrymandering being fixed, all that stuff. It'll be very tough to stop the majorities in each chamber from getting $1,000 in free money. Yeah, it would be. You're right. It would need a lot of public pressure. I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying that's the best chance. Because once that's gone and changed and repealed, and then you have a better chance. What if we made all politicians compete in a smash tourney to get into office? Then we'd end up with a fucking dynasty of Minecraft Steves. We'd be ruled by Steves. And is that what you want? You want fucking Minecraft Steves as the fucking president, vice president, speaker of the house? Mitch McConnell doesn't scratch his nuts for hundreds of thousands. He actually does. The thing is how cheap it is to bribe. We've talked about this before, but like, if If you look at the numbers, it's actually so fucking cheap. Like corporations will spend, I don't know, a few $100,000 to get a deal from the government that's worth billions. It's crazy cheap. They spend so little. Yes, politicians owning stocks is also a problem. Just money in politics in general. It's like it just creates conflict of interest. That like ideally you want to design a system that has as few conflicts of interest as possible. To where everyone, it's like a win-win. Like the person doing their job well is good for them. But right now we have a system where doing your job well is not good for you. It is likely to get you, it's likely to get your opponent a ton of funding from corporations that will then get you kicked out of office. Can you help with a public campaign to get money out of politics? I'm doing it right now. How many jobs would be created with the pyramid idea? You mean the grave robber economy? I think that'd be huge. I think the grave robber economy would be everyone gets to pick up a shovel and we get to go to Jeff Bezos' Pharaoh tomb and you get to keep what you carry. That's fucking awesome. That's fucking awesome. Everyone gets a ticket. They get 15 minutes. And it's a keep what you carry kind of situation. It'd be fun. It would bring people together. I miss when rich people took their belongings to the grave. You're longing for the days of the pharaohs. Yeah, I feel like those weren't the greatest times for wealth inequality either. You'd think politicians would have at least realized they could charge way more to be bribed. Yeah, I always thought that. I was like, damn, if you guys are going to fucking sell yourselves out, charge more. You know what I'm saying? You've got a monopoly on the ability to make these decisions. Charge more. It's just bad pricing. You're just not good at business. If you're going to be... They literally sell themselves out too cheap. Politicians need to unionize so they can demand more from Jeff Bezos when they change labor laws to be pro corporations. That's funny. That's The problem is the bribe. Yeah, the problem is yeah, exactly. That is the problem. The bribe goes to the lowest bidder. The problem is that like you need so much money to win a political election that if you don't play ball with whatever corporation wants you to do something, they will just fund your competitor. And without that money, it's difficult to run. So they kind of like play them against each other. Thank God the rich are the most fit to rule. Like, phew! This all would be a problem, but thankfully, every single person who's wealthy has the best decisions and knows what's the best for us. Mr. Beast needs to bribe a politician. That'd be the most based video of all time. If Mr. Beast gave $100K in a briefcase to a politician to get something and did a video about it, that would be the most based fucking... That would be so fucking funny. Mr. Beast, the lobbyist. What are your thoughts on public sector unions? Yeah, public sector unions are a different beast. I'm very pro private union. I think we also have so many anti-union laws in this country built from when rich people got really scared of unions. Like the way that unions are tied to specific, you are legally not allowed to make like a barista union. You can only make a Starbucks union and a separate, like, what's another coffee shop? Like, you can make a Joe's Coffee union and a Starbucks union, but you cannot combine and make a barista union. You are legally not allowed to. Natara, think of the 29 months. Which is crazy. Sympathy strikes are illegal as well. Yeah, exactly. Dude, for example, like in, so McDonald's went to, I think it was Finland. I'm sorry, it was one of the Nordic countries. McDonald's goes to Finland, right? They expand. They open up a store. And over there, the minimum wage is pretty high. And McDonald's undercut it. I don't know what, maybe it was like the average, it was Denmark. It was Denmark. Anyway, McDonald's goes way under the average wage everything else was paying. And they started paying like, I don't know, way under. And immediately, not only did the workers that would go there like go on strike, but like the trucks that were delivering the food went on strike. The truck drivers went on strike. The, you know, all the different fucking, the people that are delivering the food, like a bunch of different services around them all went on strike in solidarity to stop them from, and then, you know what happened to McDonald's is they paid a fair wage and were profitable in the country. Like it worked out. Like it didn't bankrupt them. They didn't leave. They just paid a fair wage. The entire supply chain struck. But that is literally illegal here. You literally cannot do that, and you cannot have a sympathy strike. So there's just a lot of ways that like it's and when you think about it like that, all this stuff, people are like, oh, that's capitalism. It's literally like almost anti-capitalist to limit people's ability to argue for their power. Like it doesn't make sense. Like in a fair market economy, everyone should be able to team up and get what they're worth. But they use the government as their weapon to block people from doing that so they can get more money. It's not free at all. It's not a free trade at all. Yeah, unions are in no way anti-capitalist. They're just like, it's like making your own corporation of people so that you can argue for what you want. It's more corporatist, if anything. What law are they breaking by just not doing their job? They can't organize it. Like they just wouldn't be allowed to do it. But then public sector unions like police unions and teacher unions are a little bit different. The ones where they're funded by the government, it's a little bit different because it's public funds that are being used. So they often end up in a different place. But I am a big fan of private sector unions. Yeah. Aren't a lot of unions corrupt? There is corrupt. I mean, any organization that gets, what I'm trying to say is, there is never going to be a utopia, right? We're dealing with messy human beings. So there are always going to be problems. What you want, the best situation you can get in society is where no one group has overwhelming power because power gets abused. If someone has overwhelming power with no checks and balances, they get abused. So right now, corporations have unchecked power. Government's not really a check on their power. Labor's not a check on their power. So they can abuse people. They can pay less. They can demand more. You know what I'm saying? So if in a world, and again, this happened in like the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, where we had strong labor unions, corporations are also strong. There's rich people, there's corporations, they're very strong. They have a lot of power. Government has power. Labor unions have power. And they all balance each other out. And so not one of them can exploit the others too hard. But if one side wins, then and you're not on that side, you get fucked. You're trying to balance it out. Is what that's the most goal you can get for like a pretty good shared society of win for all. Why not support anarchy then? That's literally nothing like what I said. That's literally nothing like what I said. And how did you get that from what I said at all? Why do you have to be in a union to strike? Why can't you just stop working? Because then you can't afford food. They fire you and you can't afford food. If you don't do it en masse, you don't have the power. That's the whole point of them cracking down on unions. Okay? They don't want to pay you more. And if they keep you split up, then they can play you against each other for the lowest wage and the lowest benefits and the lowest safety precautions and the lowest, hourly guarantees and the lowest everything. That's the whole point. Saw an Atrioc streams today. I don't even think what I'm saying. I think people say, like, anytime I talk about, like, what I feel like the ideals that I espouse are, in my mind, if you zoom out a little bit, pretty fucking tame. I'm not fucking. This is not like a song stream because I'm not doing like fucking hardcore comment. It's like what I'm talking about is like a pretty standard idea of a functioning democracy, capitalist democracy. Like what I'm talking about is it's nothing that is fucking revolutionary. And I think people talk about it like it's the most fucking hardcore far left opinions. You'd be a centrist anywhere other than the U.S. I don't know about that. I mean, I in general, I'm in favor of more money going to labor than capital. But I just thinking about what's possible and what works. All I really want to see is like a return to like ideals that have been proven successful in America. Like all you want is like what is the wage growth productivity gap? This fucking website. This is America from the 40s to the 70s. Productivity goes up, wage growth goes up. Strong labor unions. 1971, off the charts. Okay? Starts the fucking split. GDP and wages stay in line. 1971, they all split. Income gains shared widely. Everyone's income's going up from the 40s to 70s. Oh, then they split. Now only the rich stay wealthy. Rich wealth still goes up. Everyone else is flatlines. Everyone else, their income's staying flat. Things are getting more expensive. This is income growth. Look at this. From the 40s to the 70s, income growth for the bottom 90% of earners shot up. Everyone's doing well. Everybody's doing well. Now, only the rich are doing well. You see what I'm saying? What I'm talking about is like shit that was in America. And we're getting more and more like anger and political instability because people are working harder and harder for less and less in a more expensive world. Like that is the baseline thing to fix before you even worry about fucking radical change. Hey, Jarvis. Jarvis Raid. Jarvis, we're just talking about how great corporations are. If you're here from Jarvis Johnson stream, we are talking about how Jeff Bezos should pay fewer taxes. We're talking about how workers are lazy. We're talking about how Ronald Reagan is one of the greatest leaders of all time. We're talking about how people should not, like, think about this. If you join a union, you could have used those union fees to buy a PS5. Okay? Think about that. Think about that for 2 seconds and realize how stupid it is to, like, organize for better value for your labor. That's crazy. You could have had a PS5, dude. Think about how many PS5s you don't have because of that unit. Exactly. I used to work for American and legit. I know it's a parody of a real sign. Yeah, there was legitimate flyers and signs they hand out where it's like you could be gaming instead of working for a union. Was 1971 a big union law change? Actually, I think I don't know exactly what happened in 1971. The big change for union power came with Ronald Reagan, who until then union strikes were, semi-respected and like they tried to negotiate with them. The air traffic controllers strike during Ronald Reagan's tenure. He fired every single one of them and then scorched earth, banned them all from getting any job with any of the government institutions at all. He just literally fucking crushed the uni, busted it completely. And it sent a strong signal that any corporation that wanted to do the same was good to go. The government would not stop you. And so union busting became very common. There was no stepping in by the government on behalf of labor. Jarvis said to go on Darman Bingo. I want to so badly. Jarvis, I really do. I want to do Darman Bingo so badly. The big change for union power in the USA was the Taft-Hartley Act. That's the act. I was reading about this. The Taft-Hartley Act is one of the acts they made where rich people just got so fucking scared of how unions were getting strong, and they capped it. They just did so many caps on what was legally allowed. And this is just people organizing for their own rights as workers. And then they made it so you can only do it this way and not like this and like this. And yeah, Taft-Hartley Act is fucking cringe as hell. It's legitimately not capitalist at all. It just helps current rich people. The whole point of the idea of capitalism even working, even in theory, is that there can be new rich people. Not just current rich people staying rich forever. The idea is that new rich people can outcompete them and they can lose their money, and then new rich people. You know what I'm saying? Even that should exist, and that doesn't exist. The only thing they told us in school was about corrupt, lazy union bosses. Yeah, unions. I mean, actually, it's kind of cool, though, because right now, at this exact moment, unions have the highest approval rate they've had in 40 years. Mostly because of Gen Z. Finally, people are realizing that it kind of makes sense to not have to negotiate alone against a massive corporation who has hundreds of people working around the clock to figure out how they can pay you as little as possible. It would be cool if you had some people on your side, too. But yeah, for the longest time, unions got completely outmarketed. Corporations completely crushed not only unions, but public opinion of unions. And it's just been great for them. They've had fucking record profits for decades. I think of the mining towns going to war for their rights in the fucking 1800s, but no, this is a new thing, sure. No one's saying it's a new thing. I mean, it's the struggle of fucking history. It goes back further than this fucking country. This is a classic HR base. No, we talked about the Queen. We did funny Queen tweets, and now I'm just sort of chilling. And we talked about how the monarchy kind of makes no fucking sense, and now we're just talking about other things that I think are pretty. I swear to God, I truly believe the things I'm saying are not radical. Maybe they, I don't know, we've gotten such a fucking system that they are, but I think the things I'm saying are, when you look at it, things that happened legitimately in America when America was most successful. Tough time to be a Starbucks worker. Starbucks workers are making progress, right? But it's still cringe because, listen, the current system is all right, if you're a Starbucks worker and you want to start a union, it has to be the Starbucks union for that chapter. And so what they'll do is they'll shut down that chapter. and they'll just stop it from getting momentum. They'll just shut down that chapter of the fucking. They would rather close the store than allow momentum to continue. They go store by store. And what should happen is you can make a baristas union that demands that anyone who wants to open up a coffee shop and wants to hire a qualified barista has to pay a certain living wage, give them a certain number of hours or whatever, that just organize for your rights. And then if they want to try and scab around that, they can, but at least you've made some play in the field of two powers. But now the government will literally step in with a gun and they stop you from being able from just organizing with other baristas. You just can't do that. And that's weird. It's just a weird law. It shouldn't exist. There's no statewide union or countrywide union? No. Chapter by chapter. There's large unions for government stuff, but not for... I feel like robots are going to take away labor power over time. Yeah, absolutely will. Yeah, so robots and AI are the existential threat for all this stuff. And we have no fucking good strat for it, and we should be thinking about it more, obviously. And the biggest one, I don't know exactly how the way he did it, but the UBI stuff Yang was talking about, there is some truth to the fact that, like, we have to figure out some way for people to be able to have a living wage where they're not able to do work that robots can do, because AI is getting really good and humans are not getting that good. We can't get better than robots faster than robots get better than us. Oh, you know what? Atrioc, you're actually right-leaning economically, but America is so radically right, it doesn't seem like it. I mean, I don't know about the fucking grand spectrum, but I do know that, like, I generally believe, like, I always use the same example where it's like the Dr. Pepper and Mr. Pibb example, dude. That's my core belief. My core belief is the Dr. Pepper Mr. Pibb example. It's my fucking core belief. Please. What is that? Oh, I'm glad you asked. The Dr. Pepper Mr. Pibb example is if there's two people, right? And one of them invents Dr. Pepper and it's great and the market loves it. And one of them is Mr. Pibb and it's cringe and doesn't sell as much. I personally do not mind if the guy that made the Dr. Pepper makes more money, has a nicer house, has a nicer car. That doesn't bother me. I think that's cool. He had a better idea, he executed it better, and he made more money. It doesn't bother me. What bothers me is when maybe the son of the Dr. Pepper guy and the son of the Mr. Pibb guy are opposite levels of talent. One of them's working, I mean, the Mr. Pibb guy's son is working harder, but it doesn't matter because of inherited wealth from the fucking first guy. It doesn't matter how, whatever ideas the sons or daughters or granddaughters have, the wealth carries on forever and ever and ever. Pibb Jr. Pibb Jr. could be a genius, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't get to go to fucking Harvard. He doesn't get the $1 billion leg up. That's a simplification, but that's my core idea. Is like I really don't mind a competitive economy where somebody makes more money than someone else. I just think there needs to be ways to limit monopolies and then generational wealth. How would you limit generational wealth? Estate tax. We've done it before. Estate tax. And also, like, so one of the things that happens now is, so there'll be oh, thank you for a Spectacore. Thanks for the raid. Wow, I have never been live later than a Spectacore. That's crazy. You get any world records today? Usually you're going on super late because I'll end at 11 and then I'll usually watch a little bit of Spectacore often. He's one of the few people alive, and I like watching Hitman. But one of the best things, other than just estate tax, is like, so right now, someone makes a corporation or a business or they own something and they get a ton of money, and then they use that money to lock in, like to entrench that wealth or that corporation. So, for example, I don't know. I was reading recently, like the average wealthy person in America, for example, is not a tech billionaire, right? That's obviously makes sense. But when you think of people that are like top 1% super rich, millionaires, multimillionaires, most of them own some kind of non-competitive small business. Like they own like a dealership that there's legally the only one allowed. Like maybe they have the only Toyota dealership in town, and there's like, or they own real estate, or some business where it's like something non-competitive, something where it's like there's some legal bar of other competition. And what I think you can realize about most things is if you find a way to allow competition again, the problem will solve itself. Like generational wealth will solve itself because the kids will suck at it. The kids will be ass. They won't know how to run it and they'll lose the money. But that only happens if you remove the monopoly bar. And they'll get out competed. But right now, the problem is it gets entrenched. Yeah, there's like 3 ISPs. A perfect example. People that are making money off of fucking, inherited AT&T stock should have to have ideas that can make the company better rather than just know that they have a government monopoly. Being bad wouldn't matter if they start so far ahead. It could matter, but right now there's just so many advantages given. Rich people will always use their wealth to make sure they keep it. Yeah. You have to make rules against that. They're going to try for sure. They always have since the dawn of time. But we have made progress. We don't have feudal kings anymore, right? You can change who owns all the wealth into a more equitable system. It's possible. It's been done. But we have regressed from a few years. 100%. We have regressed. We have a less equitable society than we did in like the 70s. At least from economics. I think we have a more socially equitable society. Do you think it's a good idea to look at states to work in digital advertising? Do you think it's a good idea to look at the states to work in digital advertising? Doing decent in my country, but such a market. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely jobs for it here. It's also one of the best remote jobs, so you could probably find a way to do it from anywhere. To be honest, if you had an in. You say that, but have you heard of Their Majesty BlackRock, the liege of all that's housing? Listen, if anything I'm saying today would hurt BlackRock even a tiny bit, then I apologize, of course. Of course. I would never, ever, ever in my entire life want that corporation to pay even a penny more in taxes or to have to in any way not buy up all the housing in the country and rent it back to us at exorbitant fees. Of course I want that. My political philosophy at its core is like BlackRock Corporation make a bunch of money renting houses. Of course. That's end all be all. But if we can find a way to improve society around that, that'd be cool. BlackRock have been through enough. Did you hear the Queen died? Yeah, my title is Twitter versus the Queen, and I talked about it for 2 hours. Less than 60% of housing is owner occupied. That's so cool. Yeah, exactly. I love it. I love it when a huge chunk of housing is just owned by ever fewer corporations renting it back to people. That's fucking sick. The blacker the rock, the doper the block. There's like a marketing jingle for BlackRock as they move into a neighborhood and buy it all up. That's fucking sick, dude. That's bars. That's awesome. What's more sick is the sponsor of this stream. You see Punch's tweet? No, is it a good one? You want to link me? And those corps are making the market unstable, so it's risky to buy a house as an individual. Yeah, for sure. Crazy time to buy a house. Where do you think I fall in the line of succession? Trying to decide if I support the monarchy or not. Where do I think you fall? Are you British? I assume every British person at some point is on the line of succession, right? If enough of them died. Then eventually Tommy Ennett could be king, right? Right? They're all close enough. I can't believe they made capitalism from a bug's life into a real thing. Dude, real life is America's a fucking Pixar stand for real, dude. For real, for real. It's fucking embarrassing how much they fucking capped for that movie. Where's Agent 47 when you need him? Well, that's the thing is this is where I fucking differ from most of chat. Is I don't think murdering the rich will do anything. It's a systemic problem, right? You have to fix these fucking few key things that are causing bad incentives. I don't think that just killing rich people over and over will solve any. They'll just be another rich person. You know what I'm saying? The system is the same. But what if we eat them? It's not going to taste good. We should do it until I'm the rich person in question, then we stop. Base, dude. Yes. We should murder every rich person until everyone in chat is the rich person, and then we cut it. Okay, we've had enough. We've had enough. It's like the line, everyone above me is upper class and needs to be taxed more. Everyone below me is lower class, needs to work harder, and I'm middle class, and I need tax cuts. Let's all get. What if we all get jobs at BlackRock? That's good. A space laser that instantly kills you the second your net worth hits 1 billion. Problem solved. If it was omnipotent and omniscient and could work, that would honestly do a lot of good. Not even kidding. If that existed, that would do a lot of good. Because rich people will be forced to constantly get your wealth into the economy. They'd have to make it work. They'd have to get it out there. They'd have to fucking. There'd be a lot more millionaires. There'd be a lot more millionaires. More likely they would move to space. Yeah. To be out of the laser's range. It would be funny. So let's say you're Jeff Bezos and you hate Elon Musk and you're both right at the cusp. You're at 999 million. And then Jeff tosses Elon a sack with $1,000,001. Just to get him fucking blasted. There would be a lot of interesting outcomes. But certainly I think there would be some good from it. Imagine I'm only worth 600 million, but then some Wall Street Bets meme shoots up the price of my stock and I instantly get killed. That's such a funny outcome. Damn, the fucking space laser, dude. The issue with capitalism is that it's not reformable. You cannot turn rich people against each other, as their class allegiance will override any sense of competition and will simply result in some bribery getting through. The current is repeating himself. Listen, man. That's not a debate we can solve here, but my general thought is that rich people have existed since the dawn of time and everything, and they will always exist in some form or another. So I don't know what system we're talking about where there's not going to be people with power and influence and wealth, but they're always going to exist. And so we got to find a way to put limits and caps on it as best we can. I don't believe in a possible golden utopia where there's no differences in wealth and power. Yeah, I just need more churn. Honestly, rich people will fuck up their own bag if there's churn. If more money is available to be captured by new ideas and competition, rich people will often fuck up and they will lose their money. But right now we don't have that. It's too easy to keep. Hey, Evan. In Greece, the richest man's kids lost everything. What do you mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? Second richest man's kids are good, and the richest man gets fucked? What is the main advantage to government enforced monopolies? Not much of anything. It's good for, like China and Russia will use these state-sponsored capitalism, basically like government-assisted sponsored monopolies, because you can rocket growth really quickly. It's a good way to get a major player on the world stage. For example, if you have a company that makes, I don't know, trains, and then China has a state-sponsored company that makes trains that has a guaranteed monopoly for the Chinese market, then they have easy income from that, and they can use that money and the government money to go win markets elsewhere. So it's unfair, right? They have an unfair advantage. That's why they do it. That's state-sponsored capitalism is mostly used for that reason. You just make a national champion company that gets unfair advantages so they can use that to go win in the global market where its competition is more allowed. Tencent? I'm not sure about. I mean, every company in China has some connection to the government, and Tencent has a good amount. But I don't know that's a state-sponsored company the way that like some of their banks or oils are. I would prefer a state-sponsored company where profit motive should not be the main goal, like distribution of water. Oh, that's totally different. I think like a utility. Yeah, if there's something that's like that shouldn't be about profit, it should be regulated like a utility, and it should be ran by the government, not for profit. Yeah, and it should be, we use our tax dollars and we try to make it so it's beneficial for most people. Like postal service or broadband internet or, well, not here, but in most places. Oh, prisons should not be for profit. Exactly. Prisons should not be profit. Yeah. Healthcare in general, en masse, should not be for profit, because it's not a healthcare is not a real free market, right? You can't actually make a price choice when you're deciding whether you live or die. You are forced into whatever price you're given. America has for-profit prisons. They have a ton. We have a ton of for-profit prisons. Michael Burry made a massive investment into for-profit prisons for the future. It's his only stock he holds right now is for-profit prisons, because it's a growth industry. We're locking more people up, and the prisons basically have slave labor, and they get paid huge chunks by the government. What do you mean you can't choose between live and you die? Like, if a hospital in your area has a monopoly on healthcare, right? There's nowhere else you can really go to get a heart surgery or whatever, right? You have no choices. Then If you need a heart surgery to live or die, they can charge whatever they want. It's not like buying a scooter, right? With a scooter, they can charge really high, and you could say, I don't need it that bad. I'm not going to get it. With a heart surgery, you have to do it. So they can charge whatever they want. So it's not a real. That's why it needs to be regulated differently. It can't be. We can't be like a regular hyper-capitalist fucking pay whatever you want. That's why we need different healthcare system. That's the whole point. Is like you can't properly negotiate in that situation. So it shouldn't be for profit. I'll just get chat to do my heart surgery. I trust them. That's a good idea because you could also make money on that. That's actually a fire idea. You could make. I got chat to do my heart surgery, and then the thumbnail's like, and then it's a flat line. And then you literally would die on the operating table, and it would be a fucking sick video. Couldn't the problem be the government works the bare minimum to make these systems work? Wait. The government works the bare minimum. Damn, I fucking lost your message. The government works the bare minimum. Dude, I lost your message legit. You might have to even say it again. Answer to everything is always so gray. Yeah, in general. But I think some of this stuff is pretty clear cut. I think there has been no benefit at all to money in politics. For the average person. Unless you're super rich and own a corporation. For the average person, Citizens United and a couple things like that have been just net negatives their entire run. Zero. Just zero good. It has only caused you to have less of a voice in your own democracy. It has caused things to generally work against you. What's the benefit to money in general? Easy transactions of goods and services. Unless you want to trade goats for shit. But barter was pretty bad. There's benefits to money. Money allows you to easily trade between different things of value in a way that's not very inconvenient. Bartering was hype. As someone who's old enough to have been around for bartering, it actually wasn't that hype. It was actually pretty inconvenient. I can trade you a cow for a sub. Dude, if Twitch had subs, but it was barter, like sub alert, Icy Fire just subbed with 1 cow. Icy Fire just subbed with 3 bushels of grain. That would be fucking sick, dude. Yeah, I have to manually approve every sub. That would be sick. Actually, let's bring it back. I sub with a keg of Bud. Population decreases because of good health care. It also is only decreasing in the West. That's not true. Population is decreasing actually pretty rapidly in the East. It's only really going up in the South, like the global South. That's where, like, Korea, South Korea is projected to have. Population could be halved over the next 30 years. It's crazy. It's insane. It's going to be ghost towns. The fertility rate is so low in South Korea, they're going to be Thanos snapped. But yeah, it's not just the West thing. African population is climbing. Yep. India, Africa, a lot of the global South countries are still rising population, but not in the developed countries. Healthcare is good. Healthcare is obviously good. Chatter is saying we need more infant mortality. I've never heard of a pro-infant. I mean, they're annoying on planes. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna defend them on that. They're really annoying on planes. I don't personally think all babies should be murdered for that or die, but it is a crazy take. Hashtag not all babies. Yeah, I'm kind of brave for my not all babies. ABAB. All babies are bastards, dude. People are talking like overpopulation is a big problem. Overpopulation is not really our big concern. Almost every country right now is fucking desperately worried about declining population, declining birth rates, way over old number of old people. Climate change is real. Yeah, I mean, you're right. You're 100% right. I don't. It is a function of population, so that is true. I don't think the best solution is just a bunch of old people with no productive workforce. But I think there are other ways, and probably better ways, to curb emissions than just having people die or less people. The best solution is less people. We're just not willing to do it. That's what I'm saying. I don't think that's the best solution. But even if it is, there's some serious, like, it's not just like, oh no, there's less people. It's like, it's awful for your quality of life and living and country economy if you end up in a situation which we're heading to, where you have a hollowing out of the population where it's way too old, which is what's happening, which is what we're heading, the cliff we're heading towards. But way more in China and in Korea than here. Why is it happening though? Because fertility rates are dropping. People are just having fewer kids. Way fewer. Way fewer. Japan's already there? Yeah. Japan's getting there, I think. Did you notice an age gap when you're in Korea? Well, no. I mean, Korea hasn't hit it yet. It's hitting it. The next 30 years are going to be the real problem, where their population is getting older and older, and there's not many new babies, and so it's like a bunch of old people trying to be supported by less and less working age people. I'm 24 and I won't have kids because of climate change. Yeah, I think there's some of that. I think most of it though is just it's money. Young people have less money than ever, and raising a kid is more expensive than ever, and housing is more expensive than ever, and people, when they can't afford to like move out from their parents and like buy a house and have stable income, don't have kids. That's the problem. So all of the money is getting sucked up to the top. And so everyone else is like not having kids. Legitimately, it's mostly a fucking income inequality problem. I'm 19 and I will have kids because I want someone with my last name to dunk and I can't do it. Phineas J, everybody. Phineas J will be in the middle of a triple tornado / wildfire / tsunami climate change. And he'll be putting on the fucking dolphin sex song, Seabat, and cranking out kids to try and get somebody who can play basketball. The guys ever tell you the story that, you guys know that, you ever see that Jake Gyllenhaal movie, Day After Tomorrow? Where it's like climate change goes awry and starts blowing up cities and shit. Do you guys know that, the movie? Did I tell you that there's a scene in that movie where two fucking tornadoes, a double tornado, touches down at once and starts tearing up a city? And I saw that movie when I was, I don't know, 7th grade, 6th grade. And I was in Kansas. I lived in Kansas at the time. And as the tornadoes touch down in the movie, like as they're tearing up the city, a real life tornado siren went off. at the exact scene. Like, as it's happening, a real life tornado siren goes off. And we, in the movie theater, thought that it was part of the movie. It was so immersive. The sound was so part of that it, it's like, and it feels like it's, 4D experience. And then the fucking staff came in and they're like, get out. And we all had to go across the street and hide in the fucking bathroom of Barnes and Noble. I remember it was so crazy. And it's like, as a 7th grader, I mean, I had been through tornado warnings before, but like seeing on the big screen tornadoes killing people and blowing cities up, and then it was scary. It was freaky. Thanks, Finn, for the 26 months. Shout out to Phineas J for keeping the VOD channel going. Been crushing it. Barns aren't very noble. That's bars. These barns ain't noble. Queen Elizabeth freestyle? I gotta see this. I literally have to see this.
All right. Okay. Backwood, full of Queen Elizabeth. Look like Prince Philip soon as you hit this shit. Elizabeth runts got me relishing and fidgeting. I got racks in the UK like Wimbledon. Someone tell Charles give me the crown and that he's a simpleton. I'm in the UK with pounds. You're simply a middleman. In the UK with Trisdog trying to get a sip from him. Outside the palace. Teasing the guards. The Queen's dead, I'm cheesing too hard. In the UK, squeezing the glow. Smoking Elizabeth, she was an op. R.I.P. Princess Diana. In the castle, going through trapdoors. Walk in the castle, slap Charles. Take the crown, it's natural. In the UK, getting the pack off. More royal than the royal family. You probably could not understand me. I need the keys to Buckingham Palace. And the throne and a chalice. Right. Put Elizabeth in the spliff and shit. Royal runts got me schmizz this shit. Roll a J of the Queen with my tea. The AL, it couldn't be. Elizabeth runts and grobbly. Clip, poke out the glock like British teeth. Make Pink Panther.
This is long.
New queen. I'll slip Charles some fent beans. Run off with the crown. Sounds tempting. Bloody queen ignored the Nazis. Winston Churchill ignored the Nazis. To me, Queen Elizabeth was a thotty. If illness and old age did not get her, I would have caught the body.
Queen Elizabeth was not a thotty. That's just not true. That's just not true. That's just not true. I don't know about any of the other bars, but speaking of UK rap, has anyone heard of the guy? What is his name? Central C, UK rapper. He did a freestyle where he was doing UK slang to American slang. It's pretty good. I liked it. So I listened to a couple of his songs and I liked it. Who are those two old dude UK rappers? The Streets, maybe? Damn, they're the old dudes now? I used to listen to them. Central C's blowing up. Yeah, he's pretty fire. I liked him. Just shout out. If you want to get in early on a wave of a guy who's pretty talented, I don't know if he's done anything. I don't know if maybe he's fucking an awful person, but his music was pretty good. Night, Cosmo Duck. I'm heading out pretty soon too. It's almost 11. Anything else we want to talk about? I don't know. We talked about some of the main stuff. I did a bunch of research on China today for Monday. We're bringing back What's Up Beijing because the Communist Party, I don't know, elections. I don't know. They're not elections, but what is it? The Congress or something? It's the fucking re-election for Xi Jinping. He's trying to get another 5 years. And I did a bunch of research on it. I'm going to be talking about it. Where'd you research? The big thing I read was Foreign Affairs. There was a really, really good article by a guy who used to be in the Communist Party in China, then basically lost the power struggle, got kicked out, and did some talks on it. It was a very good insight into some of the different factions that are all vying for power right now. Do you think China's going to press Taiwan or is it just an overreaction? China's definitely going to press Taiwan in some facet. We don't know exactly when. But they're not just fooling. Link it? Well, it's paywalled. But you'd find if you go to Foreign Affairs, you'll find it. Maybe you get one free one. China's struggling a bit. Struggling a lot. China definitely struggling. But everyone's struggling right now, so it's not like they're... no one can predict that's going to happen, I'll tell you that. Anyone who says they can is fucking horseshit. Lying. Every single... I mean, Europe's struggling way more than China, I'll tell you that right now. However much people see a fucking image of China about to implode on YouTube, Europe's in a worse spot right now. People are going to get fucking angry in Europe pretty soon. If they, with these fucking gas bills, China attacking Taiwan would be so hard it would be almost a guaranteed fail. We don't know. I don't know. Do we know that? It would be if they had the full guaranteed force of America in defense on Taiwan, then yes, it would be hard. But it really remains to be seen how it's going to be played. My wishes you got raised by 30% today. Yeah, it's quite crazy. No, really, I think it's just crazy. I don't think what's happening in Europe is talked about enough. What's happening in Europe is crazy right now, and it will literally, if something drastically doesn't change, is going to lead to like strongman elections. It's going to like radical political change in Europe is like what we are headed towards if there's not a change, because they have inflation and they have a weakening currency and they have rising energy costs and they have no good way to like fix that quickly. People are going to be furious. People already are angry and they're going to get more angry. And like, I don't see a quick path to it's not something you can really print away. Right? Because the Europe's not their reserve currency. America has the free get out of jail free card. At least for now, where they can more easily print money than anyone else because the dollar is the reserve currency, and almost nobody else has that power. There's that great line where the dollar is our currency, but it's your problem, which is something you could only say in the 70s. I think it was Kissinger who said it. You could only say it back whenever America had absolutely no competition, but it is 100%. You know, I mean, you can't do it forever because we're literally going to lose our reserve currency status. But Europe does not have that luxury, and it's remains to be seen what they can do. Like energy, but you cannot print your way out of this energy problem. They're going to try. They're going to put like price caps on bills and pay the difference. But the problem is that just causes more inflation, which makes people angrier. And they've been wasting. Yeah, Adrian's mentioning it, but Europe's central bank has been really slow with interest rate raising. They're not quick enough. I don't know. They're in trouble. The strongman rise has already been happening. Yeah, legitimately, it's going to happen. It just history has a lot of parallels to this, where if people are fucking getting absolutely squeezed like this financially, they're going to look to any kind of change.
China has Taiwan.
How hard it would be for China to make. We'll watch this on Get Smarter Saturdays. What's up, Deeple? Yeah, also, like, America has had low interest rates for a long time, but Europe was, like, near negative. They were at, like, flat zero. Like, borrowing money was essentially free. There was no interest payment. And they were going almost negative, where, yeah, just an absurd level of money printing. I still don't fully understand how negative interest rates work. There's so many weird ripple effects. It's a weird situation. I don't know. Yeah, they pay you to take money from them. Yeah, it's essentially like that. It's like It's like you get a small fee. I don't know, something. It's insane. It's banks are charged for the money they don't loan out. I think that makes more sense. Yeah. It's like they're just forced to put money out to the economy. Is HBO Max going to exist next year or not? You're going to find out on Monday. Marketing Monday, HBO Max on Monday. Copium. Please. Marketing Monday on Monday, HBO Max. It's a juicer. I'm literally looking at it right now. Oh, what a juicer. What a juicy PowerPoint. That's a good slide. That's a good slide. This one will be an easy laugh. I think unemployment will go through the roof in Europe all of the signs right now, I mean, we're not talking about it enough, are that Europe is headed towards a lot of unemployment, recession, inflation, and incredibly high energy costs. The fucking mass. Not just Europe? Not mostly just Europe. I mean, everyone's headed towards a recession, it feels like, in some way or another. But it's much worse for Europe because they're not energy independent, and unless can America do anything to help them? America is gonna try and sell them natural gas at a profit. You know what's funny is something China's doing. This is a small scale, it's not massive, but China is buying Russian gas and then putting it on a ship and sailing it to Europe and selling it to them. Like, it's just China taking a cut on a Russian sanction. And that's like 5% of all the natural gas in Europe right now is bought from Russia through China. Middleman. Germany keeping open nuclear plants, France doubling down. Yeah. I mean, they have to go to nuclear. They have to find different sources for natural gas. They have to do a lot of things. And if they hold politically through the transition, it will be good for Europe because they'll be energy independent. But what I'm saying is I think that people will not tolerate that pain for very long. The bills are going to be so high, people are not going to tolerate it, and they're going to vote a mass change. How much of Europe's power currently comes from nuclear? Almost none. France is the highest. Everyone else is pretty low. Would a war breaking out solve our problems like back in the day? Bro, no. World War III is not going to... Old reliable world war is not going to solve our problems like back in the day. Okay? It's not... The good old World War III Band-Aid. Let's get the entire world to fight and kill each other. This time with the added benefit of everyone having nuclear weapons. That ought to solve it. It'll get the kids to have sex again. Will it? It would solve a couple problems like overpopulation. Overpopulation is not a problem. Overpopulation is the least of our worries. I gotta be honest with you, man. Tell me what other sources of gas, what's cheaper than pipeline? There's nothing cheaper. There's nothing cheaper than a pipeline of cheap Russian gas. I don't know what to tell you. That's why I think there's a problem. That's why I've looked into it. I read a lot about it. Europe has been fucking coasting on cheap Russian gas for a long time, and it's great. The numbers I heard was that Germany will buy $40 million or whatever, $400 million of Russian gas and use that to power, $4 billion. Every 40 million they buy, they get $4 billion of economic profit. Their industry is like 100xing. They're buying cheap gas and making tons off of it. And all of that industry has to shut down if they can't buy that gas. Sounds like they need some of that Alberta energy. Maybe they do. Is Canada a natural gas exporter? They should sell to Europe. What is even happening in Ukraine? Like, is it over? It's still going. Actually, as of today, Ukraine did a big push. Really good news for Ukraine today, at least according to what the reports I'm hearing, is that the Ukrainian forces took like 1,000 new kilometers of territory. Big progress. But it's just seeming like it's an endless slog, and the rest of the world is going to fight to the last Ukrainian. America and Europe are going to fight this war to the last Ukrainian life, and I don't know how it ends well, but I do know that like it would be nice if the Ukraine forces do really well and make a lot of progress, so that Putin has to abandon it, sue for peace, end the whole thing, and maybe reopen the pipeline. This is literally the first major Ukrainian offensive. They literally just begun. Yeah, but it's big progress. It's to go from where they were at to being on the offensive, steady offensive. Is Russia suffering from not selling the gas? That's the thing. They're not. I mean, yeah, Russia is suffering. Don't get me wrong. The sanctions and being cut off from Europe and technology and connect is bad for Russia for sure. Russia's economy is a pretty shit overall, but they have the resources. Like, they have the gas. People want the gas no matter what, and they're just selling it to China. Russia is literally just like the big winner of it is like India, China, companies that are now getting Russian gas for fucking cheap. But China doesn't pay nearly as much as Europe does. Yeah, well, China, it's the thing is, when you only have one person to sell to, that person can lowball you, which is what China's doing. If Russia has alternatives, how would that affect Europe after the war? Yeah, that's the thing. Well, I don't think Europe ever wants to go back. It depends on who gets voted into power in Europe. But what Europe wants is to be completely independent of Russian gas. They don't have to rely on Russia for their energy. That's what they want. But whether they'll get there or not remains to be seen. Yeah, India's buying a ton. Honestly, the only economy I saw that's really growing at a steady clip right now is India. That's when I was looking into it, it was like India's getting a bunch of natural gas and they're not participating in sanctions. They don't have the problems that China's having right now. And they have a fucking much better demographic. They have much more young population. So India's kind of just cruising. They're like 5-6% growth. Everyone else fucking chunking down. US at like 1%. Europe is basically among us right now. Yeah, exactly. They're very sus. What problems does China have that India is dodging? Aging population, worse climate change. I mean, worse like heat waves. They have this disastrous zero COVID forced by Xi Jinping. The zero COVID policy is shutting down cities. And they also have this gigantic real estate bubble that's collapsing. Those 4 things. India does not have those 4 things. But India is still poor. India is still smaller and poorer than China. I'm just saying India is growing. They're having a banner year for growth right now. And they're really enjoying all this cheap natural gas from Russia. Are you saying that India is dodging climate change? No, I'm not saying that. I am 100% not. No one's dodging it. I'm just saying I think China has it worse right now. That's my understanding. Could be wrong. Why doesn't Europe just stop the sanctions and buy Russian gas? Are they not selling? Well, it would be a bad capitulation to just stop right now and buy it. Although the cracks are showing. Some countries in Europe are already starting to like figure out deals. They're trying to be like, hey, we need to buy some of that gas. Russia's not selling though right now. Russia's turning off the pipeline. How much of this is Lizzo's fault? I don't want to say all of it, but she's definitely she hasn't spoken up enough, you know? Did Europe assume the sanctions wouldn't affect gas sales? I think Europe assumed this all would be over faster, and also maybe that the sanctions would hurt Russia more than it did. I think they assumed that Russia would be so desperate without a buyer for the natural gas. But the thing is, the gas is just really important and valuable. Like having the natural resources is better than having the stuff that requires energy. So Russia's just found new people to export to. Russia kind of just ate the sanctions. I'm talking about Lizzo, the artist. If we all just collectively told Putin to stop on TikTok, maybe the war could end faster. The war could end tonight if you guys all did the right dances. Can Europe invade Russia for their gas? I don't think you can invade anyone nowadays that is a nuclear power. I don't see how anyone in the world who's a nuclear power can lose an inch of territory. I don't know how it happens. Your opinions on going to Europe over the winter? Your dollar will go far. European vacation right now, your dollar's going to fucking go a long way. Dollar's appreciating rapidly against the euro. You can buy a lot. And the yen. Bro, this is actually a great time to go to Japan. I'm even thinking about it. I'm trying to do a trip, me and the boys. Stans, Lud, their SOs, me and Ari. I want to go to Japan. The yen's fucking down. Dollar's up. You have a fucking big ass vacation on the cheap. It's hard to get to Japan. Yeah, but I think they're opening it up. They just announced something. Damn, I guess Lil Wayne was right when he said he was down like the economy. Damn, I guess he was. He was spitting and we didn't understand. Okay. Lil Wayne's a modern prophet. Yeah. I like when he said he moves in silence like lasagna. Real G's move in silence like lasagna. The dollar will be powerful for long. Well, powerful is relative. It's tough to explain. The dollar's still inflating, so it's worth less. It's just inflating less fast than other currencies. It's like it's the only stable thing right now, or the most stable, the least bad. So all the money's flooding to dollars. So the dollar's getting stronger, but you don't want it to get too strong. Otherwise, you can't export anything. It's really bad for your exports when your currency. That's why China makes its currency artificially weak. Like when you hear the word strong, you think good, but it's not always that case. fucks up your exports really bad. And you need that. Otherwise, you have a terrible account balance. This is too complicated. I can't fix all this. Well, don't worry. The Rock's going to do it. Guys, don't worry. All this stuff I'm talking about is like, yeah, it's hard and confusing and gray, but The Rock will fix it for all of us. Europe and America, everywhere. Asia. He's gonna come into power and he's gonna fix it. Why has the yen dropped so much? Everyone's currency is dropping because we're entering a shaky economic climate, likely recessions, and we spent the last fucking many years printing money. All of us, not just America. Europe's been printing money. America's been printing money. Japan's been printing money. So their currencies are inflating like crazy. And so that's the problem. What's the best case scenario for everything? Well, that's a good question. The best case scenario for everything is, okay, Ukraine makes progress in the war. That leads Vladimir Putin to stop being so fucked. To realize that he has to fucking make a deal. Ends the war. War ends. They strike some kind of agreement. Pipeline opens. Russian gas goes back to Europe through the winter while they still build up their own energy independent capabilities. That helps Europe temporarily. China, Xi Jinping doesn't win another term in this upcoming party election. He doesn't get an unprecedented third-year term. Someone else comes to power. They go back to how China was before him, which is just trying to like rapidly grow and sort of more integrate into the world economy. The Taiwan stuff is backed off, no longer a priority. They play the long game. In America, we reduce polarization and try to make actual real progress on things. Now I'm getting fucking crazy. None of these things will happen. No, but variations of them can happen. Listen, I don't think it's ever going to be as bad as doomers predict, but I genuinely am concerned for Europe right now. Everything else I think is going to be, it's going to be less crazy than everyone says. It could still be bad. Nobody knows what exactly we're heading into, but I think Europe is the biggest priority, and I hope that I get some more good news. So if I'm not in Europe, I don't have to worry. Well, no. Well, I think just random ceaseless worrying is not helpful anyway. But it'd be good to understand what's going on. Have a general sense. And don't make crazy... don't buy things at the top. You know? Hey, Atrioc, I have a meeting in 30 minutes, and I was supposed to do some research about what tools to use this week. I delayed and only did 1 hour of research, basically nothing. Any tips on how to bullshit the meeting? You should have enough from an hour to be able to do, a quick overview of what tools you think are good, right? Can't you just Google best tools for whatever this job is and then... give the high level. Have a little confidence when you say it. I don't know how... Yeah. That's what you have right now? Then there you go. You've done the work. I guess you don't have good explanations, but you have to kind of bullshit that. Say I did some research and this is what I found. This is what I think is the best course of action. There's more stuff I want to look into. So I'll follow up, early next week. This is what I found. This is my preliminary recommendation, but I also did some more research that I think is promising. Early next week, I'll come back to you with a follow-up. Do that. There you go. Easy clap. As long as you have a plan of action, Just don't be like, so I didn't do it. Don't do that. Have a little confidence. And the third tip is don't watch a fucking streamer when you need to do your research. That's due in an hour. That would be my first. I would say close my stream and get to work. How bad is Meta gonna get, and will it recover or falling off? It's not looking good. Meta has like two big problems. One is that the whole metaverse pivot is not working at all. People just aren't adopting it. So that needs to take off sooner rather than later. And the second one is that Apple is just fucking owning them. Apple is stealing their lunch. Apple is literally bullying Mark Zuckerberg out of his lunch money. They're still making profit? Yeah, hand over fist. But it's about relative. It's about more or less than before. More users than before. More growth than before. Is it declining or is it growing, you know? How is Nvidia stock not? Well, Nvidia stock has taken a hit. I really can't talk about, it's just not good business back. Talk about company you work for. But obviously the chip bans were no good. What would it take to really kill Meta? Talk about a top 5 company in the world. Or top 10. I don't think Meta's going to die anytime soon. What it'll take to kill Meta is if Instagram, WhatsApp, and Facebook all lose all their users. Like a mass depopulation. That actually could happen. It's not crazy. Legitimately not crazy if like a better competitor came along and just sort of everyone just like said, fuck it. But outside of that, WhatsApp in Europe is close to a monopoly. Yeah, they're fucking strong for sure. I don't think it's likely. A massive fraud scandal, maybe? Super unlikely. They've had plenty of scandals. Insta makes them so much money, it's crazy. Yeah, Instagram and Facebook print money on social ads. Shouldn't Facebook be coasting because of the aging population? Yeah, but that's not new users. Facebook's in trouble for real. I mean, Facebook went from like 82% of teens think it's cool and have one to like 21%. And I think that number is even old now. Nobody like under 50 likes Facebook. It's completely hollowed out. Now, it still prints money because there's a lot of old people and they have money. Like, at the end of the day, if you want to do a political ad, you pay fucking absurd money to Zuck and get it on Facebook. If you want to do a fucking truck month ad, you put it on, you give it to Zuck. He makes, I mean, they literally print money. It's an incredibly profitable business. But it's not growing. You know what I'm saying? And TikTok is kind of eating Instagram's lunch. So they have a lot of things to be scared about. Their main business is getting outcompeted by TikTok. Their new business is not doing well, the metaverse stuff. And their old business, like Facebook and generally having like the best way to socially track users, is getting cucked by Apple, who is blocking them for privacy and then taking the money themselves. Are you concerned that China might take over the social media scene with TikTok getting popular? I mean, TikTok's already the best. TikTok's popular as hell. TikTok's crushing it. It's way more watch time, way more use case. China has a global hit on their hands. But I do think that if anything were to happen, like if tensions keep rising, the United States will 100% ban TikTok. 100%. They'll divest it. They'll make an American version or whatever. It'll be regulated. It already almost happened under Trump. It's banned in India. Yeah, 100%. India definitely banned it. Isn't American TikTok owned by American companies now? No. TikTok US is a subsidiary of TikTok China. I feel like TikTok would negotiate a way around it. Depends on what the ban is, but I mean, the way they were talking about it under Trump was they were going to ban TikTok from being owned by China. And so they'd have to sell everything. They'd have to sell the rights to the name TikTok and the rights to the algorithm or whatever to, I think it was going to be Microsoft or Cisco or something. There were a couple bidders that were just going to buy it and then run it. The average user wouldn't notice the difference, but it wouldn't be run by China anymore. Oracle, yeah. Do you think that someday everyone will be broken, poor, and society would collapse? No. I don't think that's, I think there's always going to be rich people, I'll tell you that. I kind of actually support that. I get China out of it. Yeah, it's not a crazy idea. Well, it's actually you really don't want to have it happen. It's like because it's not like there wouldn't be reprisals, you know. What you want is more interconnection, not less. The problem is China does this for everyone else. China stops anyone else from competing in their country, but they expect TikTok to have free reign in everyone else's country. And eventually that's not going to happen. But what ideally you'd want is like Twitch to be allowed in China and TikTok to be allowed in America and everything be able to compete. That's what you'd want, but that's not how it's working. What is the possibility of the CCP collapsing? Zero. Not zero, but way actually basically zero, dude. I would make any bet. I would make that every one of those YouTubers is wrong. Even with all they're facing? Yes, even with all they're facing. What about Russia? I mean, listen, I don't think anyone has an exact true understanding of exactly what the long effects of the sanctions are on Russia. They could be in trouble for sure. I mean, you know, for sure. But I don't know. I don't know what'll happen. I know that Putin's hold on power is not as like insurmountable as it seems from the outside. There's like other people in Russia that like support him in power because of the way he has allowed them to get super wealthy. And if like that's blocked, then they will not support him anymore. Russia's kind of benefiting from the sanctions. I wouldn't say, I don't know about benefiting. But they are not hurting as bad as everyone thought, for sure. Do you think the Fed will fix inflation and keep us out of recession, or is it more inevitable? I think you have to pick one. I think they've been hoping for this idea of a soft landing where inflation goes back down to 2%. It's low, and we don't have a recession. And I think we're not going to get that. I think we are headed for either you let inflation go unchecked, which is terrible. You can't do that. Or you have some sort of recession. Do you think China will go to war with Russia? No. I think they're like real buddy-buddy. They're like close buds now. Why is China okay with Russia invading Ukraine? Why wouldn't they be? It's good for them. They're getting a bunch of Russian natural gas for free. Not for free, but cheap. Aren't we already in a recession? Maybe in like that name only. like in the quarters of negative growth, but we're not in a true recession yet. Unemployment's still really low. You'll know it's a recession when there's mass layoffs. When you start seeing layoffs and people looking for work, and that's going to be a sign of recession. Are we going to have a recession and crazy inflation at the same time? That would be the worst outcome. The best outcome is like a short, brief, semi-painful recession that allows things to reset, people to buy in at cheap prices, and we grow from there. That's a good outcome. Recessions are never good. That's a good outcome. The bad outcome, it would be if inflation stays high and we get a recession. So you have the cost of goods going up and people getting fired. That would be awful. That would be the worst. That's what you don't want. Wouldn't that just be a depression? Sure, but that's not what depression. Like, depression is just a severe recession. Inflation and low growth is like stagflation. Germany went through that in the 30s. Yeah, 100%. There's never been a situation where you have big inflation and a recession and not like massive political change. People freak out. People are very angry. What countries are doing better than the U.S.? I mean, all in all in, U.S. is doing pretty good. I mean, doing better is an interesting statement. There's a lot of different things. But in terms of handling what's going on right now, the U.S. is in a pretty good spot. Comparatively. But it's like everyone's going to do bad. And other countries are there's countries that are happier, there's countries that have better safety nets. I'm just talking about like economically. Do you know anything concerning Canada and all this? Canada's going to mirror America pretty closely, but they have a fucking even crazier real estate. I'm in my early 20s. I picked the wrong time to be born. I mean, if you are a white guy, you should have been born in the 70s. You should have been born like in the 50s, actually. You should have been born in the 1950s and been in your 20s in the 70s and bought a house for a little bit of money. And you're not a white guy, though? Then you don't want to be born back then, I think. So you're probably good. What if you're not white? Then it's probably going to be born now, but it's still going to be a fucking interesting time. Stop describing my dad. That's the Bo Burnham song, White Guy 1985. If the housing market does collapse in the U.S., then what should we do? Buy houses? Yeah, that'd be a great time. It would be great. It wouldn't be great for their jobs, but it'd be great for Gen Z to get more affordable housing. It feels like something's coming. What is it? We don't know. Something's definitely coming. It's we've never been in such a unique position with so many years of fucking money printing into tons of global debt, into a slowing economy, post-pandemic, global tensions rising. There's a lot of shit happening for sure, Z's. But I think it'll end up being semi-handled. Some things will be uncomfortable, some things won't. Aren't a huge percentage of young people hoping for a collapse? Yeah, but people are hoping for a collapse because they think all I want is house price cheap. And like what you don't understand is like for house price to be cheap, that means people have to be forced to sell. And the reason they have to be forced to sell is because they lost their job because there's mass layoffs. That's the only reason. That's the only way it'll happen is if there's mass layoffs, then it'll be very hard to find a job. And then you won't be able to get the money you need to buy the cheaper house. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't care. I want a house. Yeah, I feel you. I want a house too. I'm just telling you that it's not as clean as that. But still, probably the best outcome. Legitimately, probably the best outcome is a sharp but relatively quick recession where things kind of go back to reasonable values. You live in Silicon Valley. How much, dude? Houses here are millions for fucking basic houses. Houses in Silicon Valley, San Jose, Bay Area, even LA, millions for like a house that would be so normal in like Arizona or something where I was from. It's absurd. With NVIDIA and streaming, don't you have 2 6-figure jobs like you do for a house? Yeah, I'm not worried about me. I will be able to get a house, but it's just crazy how much it costs. Are you taking out a loan? I will, but I want to take out a pretty small. I want to have a huge down payment. I don't like debt. I hate debt in general. I mean, I could have bought a house if I wanted to take a massive loan out, but I don't. I want to put out a fucking fat, like almost like, I don't know, almost a half to 2/3 down payment. I want to get as close to 100%, to be honest. That's my goal. That's my dream. That's literally why I'm doing the job and streaming. Is I'm saving chips and I want to be able to like just fucking plunk it down, buy a house almost outright, have almost no debt, and then not have to worry about what I'm doing. Would it be a good move to wait and see if housing cars are? Yeah, but you just listen. There's just no way to know. There's just no way to know, man. So people always tell you, yeah, you could wait, but there's a lot of factors that might make it not crash. Like even if we get a small recession, it might go down only a little bit, and then you'd be like, I want to wait for a huge. I don't know that it'll ever go super cheap. Because one of the problem, yeah, I don't know. It's not the same as 2007, you know? Why buy a house when you can get one for free in the metaverse? The thing is, you can't, right? People talk about the metaverse like it's going to be this fucking dream world for people that aren't rich. And I feel like it's going to be just as bad, if not worse. Like they're going to have artificial scarcity so that metaverse houses are fucking dumb expensive. Metaverse landlords are making money. It'll be fucking... Like I think being rich is going to be just an advantage in the metaverse. It would be... What if Yulat and Stans buy a cul-de-sac in the middle of nowhere like some Mormons? Dude, the smartest person is like fucking Mr. Beast, who didn't do an LA move. He's doing all this content, but he does it from North Carolina with like no taxes and the cost of living is nothing. He can buy half the state, dude. Mr. Beast is living but he has to live in North Carolina, but he seems to like it, and he has friends and family there, and he fucking owns houses next to each other. Moist Critical in Florida too. Germa in Vegas, no taxes. North Carolina is kind of the Mr. Beast state now. He is kind of like the mascot. Fucking Saikuno is the king of tax evasion. Yeah, is he? He lives in Easy Vegas or Texas. What's the benefit of living in LA? LA's got great weather, man. Great weather, great food. Terrible traffic. And there's connections. There's like a lot of other people. Like if you want to collab, LA's probably your best bet. That's the cop-out answer, but it must be true. It's not a fucking. It has benefits. The worst thing about LA, when I'm there all the time, it's traffic. Traffic's the worst thing. If it didn't have traffic, it's kind of got a lot of good stuff. Atlanta's the next big city for streaming. Atlanta could be. Atlanta's a hot city for sure. Big A, if you're a streamer, you can't just make a company not pay taxes. No, that's not how it works. You can make a company to reduce your tax load for sure, but you can't get out of it. And you have to do. The company has to register in the business where the state where the business is done. Legally, I'm sure there's people that have found ways to loophole it, but you can't like just register in Ireland or whatever and try to. One thing, the goat of tax evasion right now among these bigger YouTubers is Jake Paul, or maybe it's Logan. I think it's Jake though. Jake Paul has set up his residence as Puerto Rico, which has basically no taxes. Puerto Rico is like the most tax-friendly part of the U.S. And but in order to qualify for it, you have to quote unquote live in Puerto Rico for I think half the year or a third of the year, like a certain number of days, like 200 days, whatever. And what he does is he flies in and then sails out. So there's no record of him leaving the state. And then he sails back in and flies out 200 days later. And it counts as he has a record of being there for 200 days. So he has a property in Puerto Rico, but he spends little time there. That's like the fucking tax evasion nine head. This is just common knowledge. Yeah, it's a bunch of rich people that in Puerto Rico do it. It's a fucking common loophole. Amaranth gas stations. That's just kind of a smart business move, I think. I don't love that Amaranth is kind of like always talking about like the hustle culture kind of shit. You know, it's just because it's like it's not easily replicatable without the same situation. But I do think she's made a smart choices with her money for sure. And she does fucking put a lot of hours in. I don't want to be rich. I want to evade taxes for the thrill. It's like catch and release fish, dude. You evade the tax, then you just give back to the government. You're like, I don't want it. I just wanted to see if I can get one past you. Gas station is the worst business to get into. It's not. She's not managing it. It's like a way to park your money that won't lose much value, possibly even appreciates is the goal. I think she's just trying to get her money well diversified so that she can have it, hold on to it all. Instead of putting it in, NFTs or crypto like fucking KSI or something, she's putting it in things that are hard to tax and hold their value for a long time. Amaranth. Will Twitch die? So many creators are leaving. I don't know that that's the case. You see a few high profile ones, but like Fusily and who? I think Twitch is still growing. Any tips for dealing with work stress? Yeah. The way to deal with work stress is at fucking midnight when you have meetings early in the morning. Blast yourself with bright lights from 3 monitors and a light and do something exciting on stream. Get really into it. And then you can't sleep. Do that. It's one of my best ways to avoid work stress. Is just get a lot of light in your face right before bed. And then when you get in bed, check your phone. Be sure to check your phone on everything. Check your YouTube stats. Check your emails. Check it all right before bed, in bed. And then, if you still can't sleep, go to your computer, open up Hitman, open up a contract, try to solve it and get rank 1, and then go to bed. These are all good strats. No, I'm going to go to bed, actually. It's 11:50. Hey, guys, I'm going to go to bed. Thanks for listening. It was a fun stream. I'm actually glad I streamed today. Really glad. It was fun. Just a fun little stream. And I will go to bed. And I want to say thanks for stopping in. I'll be back tomorrow. We're going to do best tweets. Should be fun as fuck. Good night, Evan Gao. Best tweets tomorrow. Should be good. And then Saturday, I'm beating Elden Ring. On God. And then Sunday, I'm out. I'm going to do final touches on marketing Monday. Have a great night. Have a great night. See you when I see you. Peace. Good talking about real shit. It was fun. I really enjoyed it, actually. Later.